explicit version's a little more raunchy.
Okay.
There we go. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're still. I wonder if Denver got lost. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Take20 presents the Chronicles of Chryalis. So we're going to play some D&D 5e tonight. This is a whole new realm, whole new campaign, new characters, some familiar faces. We're just waiting on a couple of people right now, one traveling from Calgary to get here, and we're waiting for another person from Edmonton to travel in to our location at Stony Plain, and then we'll get this show on the road. In the meantime, I do have to give a couple of mentions. The audio tonight will be provided by Tabletop Audio. If you have not checked out tabletopaudio.com for your game, you need to check it out. So that's what we'll be using for ambience throughout the campaign. Listen to that, it's so beautiful. So beautiful. And of course, SACT. SAKD.ca is the official website for the video game about a pillow brought to life, given spellcasting, weapon wielding, demon slaying, monster smashing abilities, and sent on a quest to destroy the ultimate evil. You can check that out at SACT.ca. So I guess to get us started, to my left is Tyler playing
Ergrond. I am a ogre fighter, and I'm actually a lot smarter than I let on.
So you're a half ogre?
Half ogre.
Half ogre.
Yeah. Tough as nails. I've learned to manipulate the humans because that's what they've done to me. That's what they've done to my race for years. And screw them assholes. Sorry, don't know if this is a...
Oh no, it's NSFW, so
okay,
it's all
good.
good. Yeah, that's, I mean, we'll clear that up right now for anybody watching. This is not safe for work at all.
Not safe for kids, not safe for work.
Yeah.
But fun.
Yeah, but fun. Definitely. Grab your popcorn, turn the volume up. We're going to have a blast. So we'll probably have to recap here when the other people arrive, but to recap a little bit, the ogre, Lynette, might as well introduce your character.
I'm Lynette, and I'm playing Kalindra. She's a dark elf, and she's an arcane trickster.
Nice. And we also have a monk from the temple to the north of El Shanir in the eastern side of the continent. A monk named Kite, who is sick in Caravan number 2. And we also have another player down sick as well. Turns out last night's rabbit stew was not quite up to everybody's tastes, shall we say. So you're traveling with three covered wagons, the third of which you noted contain some important silks, some expensive silks and silk tapestries. The merchant that you're traveling with Corbin, he's traveling in the lead cart, and there's a young boy that's been at the reins of the horse most of the time. The second covered wagon, there's another young man, about 15 years old or so. He's leading that wagon, and the last one is surrounded by a contingent of 4 what looks to be town guards, possibly from Al Shanir. They bear some symbol of a dagger and a skull on the shield, but they're pretty reputable guys. You know very little about the town of Al Shanir other than it's referred to as the Port of Shadows, and it's got some piracy tales around it as well. So you've been traveling now for about 2.5 weeks from the last town that you were at. Oh, and there we go. There is player number 3.
Al Shanir.
Who is it? Yeah, we got Jace should be about another 20 minutes or so, but roll this stuff up. Hey, friends.
Howdy how.
So Denver, this is Tyler and Lynette.
Hello.
This is Denver. Nice to meet you, Denver.
Nice to meet you.
Also in here is snacks, coffee, tea, green tea. And I'm actually going to
Sweet
be
eggs.
sweet. Helps off all the baked goods and et cetera, et cetera.
That's good.
I'm gonna grab a water.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, sorry. Coffee.
Is there any water in the fridge or Cal?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's some water.
Yeah, there's some on the counter, but those are like room temperature.
I'll take room temperature.
Yeah. Some people like the room temperature. Some people like the chilled shit.
I also like the room temperature. Man.
I too am room temperature. Yeah, there's creamer in the fridge.
Okay, can I just go ahead and say I'm super impressed by the ambiance and setup.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, this is kind of what you're traveling in. It's woods. You've been traveling for days with a 3-wagon caravan and a contingent of guards
Standing on guard for the.
standing on guard for something for sure. Tessa, are you going to be all kinds of dominant in here? Because you're like, these are all my chairs and these are my minis and hey, buddy?
I am the master of.
Oh, actually, what I might get you to do is lift. Oh, yeah, that should be okay. She should be fine. Tess, are you gonna play, or are you gonna like be a jackass?
Gonna roll some dice with
Yeah,
us?
either roll some dice or quit being a jackass. The only way that you're gonna know being a little jackass is if you start rolling some dice. So, and the dice tower is available for testing. So, if anybody feels like they need to spin it through a dice tower, there's no metal dice.
Yeah, I won't do that. I was looking at
Kaboom!
I ain't cracking skulls that way.
Yeah,
That's
so-
not cool.
I would definitely crack some skulls.
And you said it's the Port of Shadows, Alshamir. And what's the insignia? It's a dagger and
A dagger and a skull, surrounded by it looks like a stylized sun, and it's all black. The shield is black. The symbol is silver.
All right.
And you all didn't know each other prior to this. You haven't spoken much amongst yourselves. You know that a couple of people have been getting sick. You have introduced yourself before as Kite. You're from a temple up north. Athrakul is the name of that temple. It's a huge monastery complex in the northern mountains.
Allow me to add that in. How does one spell Athrakul?
Athra.
Come on. Athra.
Yeah. Kuul.
Perfect.
And you just recently got sick because you're here 13 minutes late. You were a bit sick from rabbit stew last night and haven't come out to say anything other than off the back. But you guys have kind of met. You've been on the road for 2 days. It's been fairly uneventful with this caravan, other than the boisterous claims of the merchant Corbin in the lead, who constantly prattling on about, what a waste of money an additional contingent of soldiers is. They've been on the road for 2 weeks and haven't had a single problem. Roll initiative. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So anyway, the day is you're coming around. Jace's character won't be not vomiting for another 20 minutes or so. So you poke your head out of the wagon. It is just before noon. The sun is shining. There's been a light drizzle of rain early in the morning, so the ground is fairly wet. But the birds are singing. It's beautiful out. You have yourselves positioned relative to that caravan. We need to find you a mini.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of non-painted ones there.
That was close.
And mark my words, by next game I will figure out some minis specifically for your caravan. It's a race now.
Yeah. Well, I got a minute. Yeah, I love these. It's cool.
Let's just use that.
Yeah.
Roger that.
Sounds like a good idea.
Would you be down with me just rolling those stats real quick?
Yeah, no, by all means, man. It's an open game. We're just here to have fun. So there's no like if we got to stop and like figure out rules and stuff. That's something I really want to stress. Is like if you're watching this out there and you're watching it for this all the way through play, it's not going to happen. I'm a fairly new DM to 5e. This is my first campaign, and some people here haven't played 5e very much. Most of us are on this side of the fence anyway, or 2e. We grew up on 2e. I'm not sure. How about you?
I'm pretty familiar with 5e.
For 5e, yeah, that's great. Then we've got somebody that can help, correct me on rules, hopefully help us figure out some spells and where to look for, some of this initial information. But we're gonna have fun figuring it out for sure.
My favorite experiences with it is been the rule of cool, where it's like, listen, if you can get creative and do some cool stuff, then like, all right, let's
That is 100% what it is. And as a matter of fact, there's going to be any rules lawyers out there, you might as well just like hop off the channel right now. Because this is going to be such a merger of everything that works between 2E, 5E, and some of 1E. Because there's honestly some things that I've found going back and looking through the documentation that got skipped somehow in recent editions of Dungeons & Dragons. And I'm eager to bring that back into this campaign, so that's what we're going to do. So if there's a rule that pops up that nobody's familiar with, try not to gawk too long. We'll just roll with it, literally. And, we'll get it figured out. So, what are you guys doing?
I'm keeping my eye out for any potential ambushes. Does anyone know if this is would we know beforehand if this was a well communicated trip? Like, was there hubbub about this caravan?
So you know very little. The only thing that you've been able to ascertain from the last couple of days, overhearing conversations, is that they're traveling to Highwatch. They're stopping at some town called Sember, which is reputed to be a way stop for travelers. SEMBER. Write it down. And it's known as the Jewel of the Northern Mountains. It's supposed to be a fairly prime location for people traveling this long journey from the eastern side of the continent to the right to the from the western. Trying to remember the direction. From the western side of the continent to the eastern side of the continent, from Alshanir in the west to Highwatch in the east. And Highwatch is a fairly large metropolis. Oh, I wouldn't bet her. Nah, she's just a jagoff. She'll lead you in, right, buddy? Hey, yeah, later, even me, eh? Yeah, giving me the business.
It's so hard not to kind of get.
I know, virtually impossible. And sometimes she lets people, but it's the one time she claws somebody that I'm gonna feel terrible for the rest of my life.
That's their own stupidity. Or my own stupidity. Probably my own, but that's okay.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're willing to get scratched, by all means, feel free to try and greet my cat and pet her. And I mean, I just say, take it cautiously. She is a displacer beast in training. Just as shifty. Just as shifty. So there is one person, the cleric at the front, named Brieger. You definitely get the sense that he and his two companions, a ranger in the back whose name you haven't caught, and another fighter in the front that rides opposite the first caravan, or the first covered wagon with Brieger. You get the sense that he's a fairly seasoned adventurer, veteran, mercenary. You're not quite sure what to peg him. He's not. He's clearly a man of the cloth, so to speak, but not even sure what deity he worships. You just know, you get a good sense of him. You get a sense that he's kind of like one of those guys that you would trust right off the bat. Like, he just seems very likable. He's scarred up, and he's definitely seen some battles. You can hear him with the fighter at the front exchanging battle stories and laughing about world wars that they fought and people that they knew that passed. But they're laughing about it like they've seen a lot of adventure and a lot of death, and it just doesn't faze them anymore. So yeah, none of the other guards. Everybody else is just basically marching. The 4 guards in the back there, they seem the most nervous. Those are the guys from Al Shanir, and they've, from what you understand, they've been hired to stick with that covered wagon of silks and silk tapestries and not to move from it, to follow the directions and the orders of Brieger and sometimes the merchant Corbin who's been leading this troop of people. Fairly uneventful for a couple of days. Sorry, where are you? Do you want to roll your stats?
Oh yeah.
Do you want witnesses?
I mean, if
We'll
you guys
cheer you on,
want,
come on, man.
oh boy,
Put that energy out there.
that's just D10s and then that's D8, right?
Yeah, so there was like 3 methods there that I did. Yeah, you can pick the best
Well, let's try this. It was 4 out of 6, so I gotta roll 2 more. Okay, I'm just gonna be an old tech wizard here.
Yeah.
4, 7,
22.
5, and 6. Okay.
one. Ooh, you poison the characters, I got it. Do your drafts. Welcome to the show. So do your drafts as a regular on Take20 D&D. She's been hanging out with us for a number of months now, I think.
So honored.
Join us in Rifts. Join us in Rifts.
Yeah,
And
oh,
there's
she's a fan, for sure. Yeah,
Nice.
do your drafts has been... I think she's been to a couple episodes, for sure.
Nice.
okay, so I got 4, 7, 5, 6, 7, 7.
That's solid.
Yeah. You
You need a notebook, paper, anything?
you know what? I was being all like, haha, I need no paper. I've got the power of phone.
Oh, yeah.
So I was trying
I
to
can
do
also
thing.
print character sheets like very rapidly as well,
Oh, sweet.
which might not be such a bad idea. You want a 5e character sheet print?
You know what?
Hey, Cap. How's it going, man?
I might be able to
Hey.
just like.
Nice, Captain.
I could just like export it and just send it to you too.
Yeah, you can do that. You got your character. Can you export it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, export it and email it to me, and I'll blast it up on the printer.
Okay. Can I borrow a pencil?
Of
'Cause
course.
once again, if I was smarter, I would trust it with. Okay.
So you're looking around for. You're just keeping an eye out, and what are you doing?
I have next to no insight. Can I make an insight check to see? I'm just getting a bit of a feel from the cleric and the fighter. If you've ever seen the movie Atlantis, how the team was there, they were together for forever. It doesn't mean they're a good team, or maybe they're a good team together. But so I mean, whether or not
These trustworthy people.
What'd you get?
10.
Yeah, so you don't really, you aren't really able to gather anything. They seem like complex individuals, but you do get the sense that they just met again recently or just met for the first time recently. And the stories that they're sharing don't seem to be about them doing anything together, more about people that they knew in similar wars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And the ranger seems fairly quiet. He actually doesn't associate very much over the last couple of days with Brieger or the fighter, but you know that they are part of the same group, or that they have been traveling together. Because when you guys met at the crossroads 2 days ago, everybody kind of came in at those crossroads at the same time and just kind of decided to travel together. And the merchant, again, he's been arguing with everybody on paying anybody. There's no need to pay anybody. He doesn't need any extra help, but he has made the agreement with all of you that if there is any danger and you're able to prove your mettle in, making sure his silks arrive at their destination, then he'll happily compensate you for your troubles. So what did you end up with for stats, like total stats?
Jesus, much better than I thought.
36. The first one was 22, and then the last two were a pair of 7s, right?
Oh yeah. So I got
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, no problem, Cap. I'm glad you can make it.
So this is before bonfires. But, 15, 15, 15, 14, 13, 12.
Wow.
That's
That's really solid.
yeah, that's a tough guy. So it'll be
Tough gal.
tough gal, sorry. 14 strength.
And her name is Kite.
Kite, yeah, like the bird.
Okay.
And right now she is definitely recovering from that rabbit stew. That
Yeah, some rabbits too has put a few people off. The guards still have to march, but you can tell looking at a couple of those rear guards and the person that's just behind the fighter on that side. Those three people, so those two on that side, and the one
Well,
on
the Rangers kind of feel a bit. Woo.
these two are ill, and that person is ill. Yeah, but they're still marching. They, like the ranger is, you get a sense like she's tough and hasn't, she's just putting on a good face. The rest of the guys are visibly ill and showing it.
Maybe I'll start eating my rations.
It's
Might
very
be.
good.
Okay, can I get? Sorry, you were doing what?
I was kind of watching, listening for anything that someone might say.
Okay.
Ambush or anything too.
Yeah, I'll get a perception check from anybody who's good at that.
I had two.
oh,
You got a 2?
Keep an eye for an
Yeah.
ambush, if anything.
What'd you get?
8.
Okay.
not a close eye. Just
No.
just end.
Just kind of casual.
Not very perceptive.
Just for 5e fun times. Are you familiar with advantage, disadvantage?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I'm like, I don't know. If I'm like sick or so and not be paying attention, I'd be like, oh yeah, I probably suck at this, but
Oh yeah.
cool.
And
Just-
sometimes well, we'll see.
Cool.
Yeah.
I just want to be
What
that.
the heck happened here? Push this. There we go.
Okay.
There it is.
And just this email, right?
What's that?
Send character thing this email.
Yeah, send it to Kelly at alchemyimageworks.com. Not that one, that's Alchemy Interactive.
Good call. Okay.
The long email. What exactly?
Kelly at Imageworks.
Yep. Now, for some reason, it's weird. At Alchemy.
Oh,
Imageworks. Yeah, Alchemy.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. It's really weird, the tabletop audio. Just give in!
I got you.
So, Denver meet Jace. Jace meet Denver.
Okay.
It's weird. Tabletop audio literally just shit the bed.
Tabletop. Why?
It's weird. But I'm gonna try Jace. This is Lynette and Tyler.
Lynette,
That's Jace.
pleasure to
And you
meet you.
met Denver
Nice to meet
already.
Hello.
Good day. Nice to formally first of all meet you.
Yes.
Yes, let's see if perhaps I can load up tabletop audio in another browser. It's entirely relevant. Oh, yeah, here. That's, believe me, you ain't.
She'll fight me.
Yes. No, yeah, she'll just, it's okay, buddy. It's okay, buddy.
What? But I was so comfy.
That was my chair. Don't hate me.
It's okay, buddy. Okay,
I
pal.
own that chair.
I know you own everything in the house. It's okay. It's okay, pal. Yeah, we'll find something to do. So yeah, there's snacks, coffee, tea, all that stuff.
Thank you, sir. That might be a later course, but yes, thank you.
And you got some character stats to roll up as well?
Yeah. I'm sitting on D20s though. That's it.
Yeah, that's all good. Don't roll that giant thing through my dice tower.
No.
But everybody's welcome to use the dice tower as long as they're normal sized acrylic dice.
Yeah, no, this was more of a gimmick that it's just letters.
If you need any of these guys, well,
Perfect.
Oh, and there is a giant bowl of dice over there as well. Ginormous.
Oh, that's so
Just on the other side by the blue light.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Great big bowl. Now there we go. Tabletop audio. Let's see if this can pull it off. Actually, it seems my Windows audio is completely
All right.
bad. That's okay.
Now you're updated. I'm caught up. We're good to go.
Ooh, he's going digital. I like that. Really big timer.
Again, last time I played was grade 5, so like
That's awesome.
2E, yo? 2E?
Yeah, were you 2E, second edition?
Yeah.
Or first edition?
AD&D, I think it was called.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
But again, that was for like 3 weeks. I'm normally Warhammer,
Okay, yeah.
Games Workshop.
Cool.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that Warhammer stuff's awesome. I just can't get by like the amount of like minis that they bring to the table with everything. It's like
All the different
50 minis, yeah.
The volume of money you must have in a bank to burn on it.
Don't shout, I just had a heart attack. Sorry, do your graphs. So, sorry. So yeah, we are live, FYI.
You are correct. The tables, they grow and the money, it's expanded. Oh,
Awesome game.
I've been collecting the same army for that since 1999. So it's the same army, but it's everything.
Elder, Orcs, Tyranids.
Orcs.
One with Orcs, you can throw massive volumes. So you buy massive volumes of creatures.
Mhm. On the the regular guys, we're sitting at like 350 just because there's this type of game you can play at that level.
Wow.
Armageddon it was called back in the day. So yeah, fun times. Get this off the field, I'm sure.
Yeah, I did tape the trees down. That's good. So yeah, this is the general forest. I mean, you've got trees lining the road. You can look at the pictures around that aren't showing on the camera, but that's generally the environment you're traveling in. Is long dirt road, sweeping mountains up on either side. Every once in a while, the forest will break for plains, but generally lots of forest. If you've ever been to British Columbia or most of New Zealand, that's kind of what you're looking at. Temperate, rainforest-ish to thick, old and ancient forest. But this road is fairly well traveled. You guys have passed a couple of caravans in the last couple of days. So.
Good morning.
Yeah, that's right. Did you emailed me that sheet?
I did.
Sweet. Let's get back in behind here and print that bad boy up.
I actually still have like the game that we're playing tomorrow. If you want to tune in, it's still second edition.
Oh, did you go in vintage?
Dealer Drafts actually asked, what is the base material? That is from Michael's. That is a grass mat. It's supposed to be adhered to something like a giant piece of wood or something in order for it to do its thing. And then you can like scrape it off to give room for lakes and stuff, paint it. It's about $20 for a roll that size. Got some flock to it. Hey, there we go. And
So texture.
yeah, you can send me your character. Well, Denver, is there anything that you would have relayed to the characters about your character in the last couple of days?
Yeah, so she is, from memory. By memory, I'm just remembering all the things I wrote down while looking at them. Okay. There we are. It's just a bunch. She's not the most obviously.
Actually, I suppose these are somewhat useful too, but minis.
Yeah, so she's not the most talkative, but if she does have a moment where she can chime in some kind of
Words of wisdom.
trying to be a wise idiom sharer, she'll more than be happy to chime that in.
Idiom damn near killed him.
Yeah, so but Yeah, she wouldn't be talking too much about like what kind of
business and stuff.
yeah, but she's very eager to see this. And we're traveling the caravan, protecting silk traveling as well.
Yeah, so you've been traveling. Just to recap a little bit for anybody just tuning in. So the players have been traveling with this caravan after having met at a crossroads. So you've come from a temple, monastery in the north, and they've come from just along that road, but further west and not quite over to Alshaner. So they've never been to Alshaner, never been to a big city. This is a half ogre and a dark elf that you're dealing with over here. So everybody's a little bit unfamiliar with everybody's race. Most of you are from smaller towns. You've never been to a major metropolis. You definitely haven't. You have a scroll sealed in your possession that you are delivering to Highwatch from your monastery,
Nice.
from the head monk there.
And I'm assuming we're also hired to.
You aren't, technically. So you've all met at the crossroads and you've all continued along with this caravan because you're just going in the same direction. However, the merchant has agreed to compensate anybody for any dangers that might be overcome in trying to get him to his destination with a load of silk and silk tapestries intact.
Okay, Kite would be very eager to see this through honorably.
Honorably, yeah, for sure. So we do have a few characters here that are other adventurer-looking type or really like well-seasoned mercenaries, and that is the ranger to the rear here, the colored mini there, yeah. And then the two characters on the front. On the left is a cleric named Brigger, and on the right is an individual whose name you haven't caught, and he appears to be a fighter. Very little words to anyone else, although Brigger has joked with you guys on occasion. He seems approachable. You haven't really got past introductions, but you know he generally seems more approachable than a lot of the other people. And the four guards, or the three guards at the back, there should actually be four guards at the back. Do me a favor and swap the third. Who's that third mini in? 1, 2, 3. Nope, the one up from it. That one, yeah.
Hammertown?
Yeah, that person should be at the back there. The four guards should be maintaining the rear. And you guys stuck yourselves where? Just on the left here?
Kite is here.
Okay. And your character has been ill from rabbit stew that everybody ate yesterday. Kite just kind of got over it and has poked her head out to breathe some fresh air, but you have
How
just...
truthful that is.
Yeah.
Okay. Just recovered.
It's the
Yeah,
stew that
really?
ran you through.
Yeah, no, yesterday was a horrible day.
Oh, no,
Yeah, so
dude.
when you said the rabbit stew, I was like, it was...
It's like, no,
Something-
rabbit stew! It's just like triggers.
Do I add?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, you got a mini?
I do.
Oh, that is sweet, dude.
But again, I didn't design a character ahead of
Sure.
time.
Yeah, that's okay.
There's one that's a fantasy, somewhat necromancer.
Yep.
With a cut off arm, new arm. And then this guy is more of a druid spellcaster.
So which would you rather play?
Necromancer sounds fun if you got the
What's with the
ogre.
other arm on the necromancer?
Originally,
Brand new.
it's a
Yeah, brand new.
what's called a conversion kind of. So the original model, you chop off bits of it and switch stuff around.
Yep.
So kind of customization kind of thing. So
Like Frankenstein customization?
well, you
Like
can,
using
especially with
limbs?
orcs, you can get really customized. This guy's just an arm swap, what we call it. So his former arm, he was holding something else, and now he's holding a staff with a book
Oh, yeah,
and
okay.
some sort of sensor with smoke
Gotcha.
billowing out. He really likes skulls. They're everywhere, and he's got books and bags with him.
Okay, is he talkative?
As a necromancer, I would think he's more of like
Quiet?
the creepy old conservative uncle.
That's what I figured. So you've identified the creepy old uncle in the group. And but you're not that old. You'd probably be, how old are you?
The model itself looks old, but that would be
Your character.
more experienced, so he's more young, I would say. So
Yeah, I would pin
His
most of
literacy.
you in your like 20s.
My Kite is 19.
19? I think.
yeah.
She's younger.
I'm just
So-
trying to remember. I think
Ogres are longer lived. Or,
they're shorter.
are they
He's
shorter?
Like, he's like
Fun guy,
15.
yeah.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
I hate to raise a litter of ogres.
Yeah.
Imagine that running around the house.
They're out of the house soon though.
Yeah.
So the model, the guy's very old, maybe older and decrepit, or
Probably not.
yes, we can just say young,
Short.
inexperienced.
Yeah,
Well,
so I like
eight-
the young. He's just,
Give or take.
I mean, not a Ted Bundy
8'9".
type, but he does have a predilection for death and all things to do with, he doesn't get squeamish around corpses, that kind of stuff.
No.
Maybe served a bit of time in a town as a mortuary, a mortician. Yeah, actually, my dad was a mortician. Fun fact. Yeah, creepy.
Is it really fun though?
Yeah.
Depends, what do you think is fun?
Yeah, that's right. So you have your character stats. Did you want to roll them up?
Again, so I think there's 7 different types of stats. Six.
Yeah.
All right.
No comeliness.
I don't have any of those written down right now.
Did you want me to print you a character sheet?
That might
And we
be
can
easier
do-
for the
sure.
start, and then go to D&D Beyond seems like a resource.
They
have
have
D&D
D&D
Beyond
Beyond
has
has
a
a great.
Okay, so I'll get to that point after I run through this first little exercise.
If you like to roll one at once, boom.
Going like that.
Or you can roll them individually.
There we go.
Whatever makes you happy.
Special character orcs like to roll big numbers of dice.
Shiny click clack math rocks. Must have them alls.
Yeah.
Bam! Look at that!
Holy man. We found
2 10s, 2 9s,
Zero
2
alls.
6s.
That's not good. Zeros.
Oh,
No,
those zeros are
that's
amazing.
bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh,
So
lots
you,
of
you
zeros.
just drink those up.
38, 50 points.
18, 30,
Someone's,
40, 50.
Someone's a seasoned.
Seasoned min maxer. Yeah.
I was gonna say like someone's the seasoned orc here.
That's awesome.
What was it? Just write that down first. What was that?
50 points total.
It was like 9.
9, 9, 10, 10, 6, 6.
10, 10, 6.
There we go. I like this one.
So basically, you just add 8 to each of those if you want, or whatever.
I think Kelly was also were you allowing us to, roll them, add it up as a total, and then assign the points as desired as
Yep.
well?
Yeah, you can do
That
that
might
too.
be handy.
Yeah, either way you want to do it. All of those methods that I listed before are all pretty fair.
17, 18,
14 plus 14.
That's a pretty stacked character, actually, to be honest. I would actually even rock that. That's a pretty wicked bank
I'm scared when the zeros showed up.
Yeah.
of
Zero, it's no good.
That's the worst. No, for the D10, this
Yeah.
Scott's the 10.
I do apologize. I'm used to D6s. That's the only thing I get. There's a new game I'm playing called Infinity that has been doing the D20s. But you got a set like, is that a D4 as well?
Yeah, this guy's.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What is that? What's that one usually more? A damage roll or?
Yeah, so a lot of these are different damages or hit dice or something. So, if you got like a big, heavy, like great axe or something, you'll usually have the big, beefy D12 for dice.
12.
Also nice. You saw it here at home, folks. But then for some, like say it's a quick stabby stab, like a dagger or something. I think a dagger's a D4. Yeah. Yeah, so then you'd be like, alright, well this is a small weapon, but you're like, stick with
So
it.
that equals a 3?
Yes.
Because it's 3 on.
Yeah.
There you go, buddy.
Thank you kindly.
Yeah, and some weapons might be like, oh, you roll 2d6.
Now, there is a player's handbook down there and a stack of books that you've got there as well. And I do believe in the first few pages there's some descriptions of your ability scores.
Yeah.
So you'll want to assign some of those.
Strength is the ability to crush a tomato.
Crush a tomato, that's right, yeah.
Constitution
Or crush
is the
2
able-
tomatoes.
is the ability to able to what is
Hit
it?
points?
Eat the tomato in one bite.
Yeah.
Eat the tomato without becoming sick or whatever.
Mm. Yeah.
Constitution.
Eat the rotten
Yeah.
tomato.
Eat the rotten tomato.
Dexterity is
Is the ability to juggle tomatoes.
That's right.
Intelligence is knowing that tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. And charisma is being able to tell someone that the tomato belongs in a fruit salad.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
Convince some
And
other
salsa.
Those are
We
great
found the
analogies.
bard.
All based on tomatoes.
Yeah, so those numbers there, they'll give you a modifier. So 10 would be at 0, and then it goes up by 2. We'll add 1. So like 12 to 13 would be plus 1, 14, 15 plus 2.
You are correct. Those are decent rolls.
Since you're a big beefy person, you'd be sitting at plus 4 for the 18s to the 19s. And then
That's the
You're
max.
human,
Plus 3 for the 60s.
the
and
max you
70s.
can go is 20.
He is human.
Max you can go for
I'm going off
Billy
those.
stuff is 20.
Yeah, no, that's
so
good.
plus 5 would be the highest.
Good
one
thing
I
you
could
take
get.
those things.
Anyways, yeah, so these are super beefy, so nice.
Okay. Thank you. So
Yeah, you got some good stats there for sure.
Spellcasters would be more of a intelligence/wisdom.
Intelligence for mages, for sure.
If I was smart, what?
Although my
Class
dwarf
is
in our other game,
necromancy.
my intelligence isn't my dumb stat, but it's my big stats are strength. Because he's a fighter wizard.
What?
No, the other one, remember?
Yeah. So what?
Thunder.
What class was that? Was that a wizard or was that a sorcerer, warlock? Like what?
Which one? His?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be a specific kit. It can be just straight mage with a specialty in necromancy.
Okay.
But I
Wizard,
think
wizard
there is a
necromancer would probably be the way to go, I think.
Yeah, I think there's like a witch thing too that you can go into, like
So that's
a
class.
Yeah.
Wizard.
Yeah, I think like level 3 you can like pick more specialized stuff. So if you're like,
Starting as a wizard. Background that would get in depth.
yeah, School of Necromancy. Okay. So yeah, those.
Speaking of background,
I got a name.
Nice. You brought all these coconuts.
yeah, bang, we have some coconuts together. Tonight's background audio brought to you by Tabletop Audio. Thanks, man. Loving it.
So yeah, so it's just like a quick summary.
Clear of knowledge.
So quick build, intelligence would be your highest thing, and then constitution, dexterity.
It's pretty old. I don't know.
You don't have to be old.
Yes. Switch that again. Constitution means like hardiness, hit points.
Yeah.
Endurance, yeah.
I just want to make sure it was necromancy.
I actually really love that we're going over these stats and stuff like that because a lot of us are fairly new to the 5e rules altogether.
Yeah, it's nice to like if you kind of picture them as not just like numbers, but it's like this is your character type, or like, are you a hardy person? Okay, you got a lot of constitution. Yeah.
You dexterous and nimble, or you thief, acrobat, lots of dexterity.
You got the sweet dance moves. Okay, you got some dexterity.
Yeah, sweet dance moves.
You know what? If I was better at this, I would just know. But since I don't, I guess it's your call. You got a lot of sweet skills, so you throw them wherever you want.
Hit points to stay alive is decent. Constitution.
Yeah.
18.
Dexterity is another way to stay alive, and that is
Dodging and being nimble. Okay, so 17. Wisdom seems like an important thing to have.
It's not like how perceptive you are about something. So like intelligence is like okay, I know this is going to happen or something, or like I can.
intelligence is knowledge, whereas
Yeah.
wisdom is mental acuity, you might put it. So it's kind of like
They run hand to handle a lot, or
No.
is there no doubling up on stuff?
wisdom is common sense, exactly.
So like hey, you notice Tesla just walking in. That's wisdom because you're perceptive.
Oh, okay.
Knowing that Tesla wants to claw your face when you pet her, that would be intelligence.
Yeah.
So,
That's it.
So
That's
then,
it.
as a necromancer, or a plan to be a necromancer, those guys deal in death. They're not very charismatic, I would say.
Well, others, here, I'll give you the book one. While others use magic to do paltry things like conjure, fire, or fly, the necromancer is a master over death itself. They study the deep and forbidden secrets that raise the dead, controlling minions toward a variety of goals. Perhaps they seek the power that mastery over death provides. Perhaps they are serious and unashamed scholars who reject the small-minded boundaries held by others. Each enemy they fell becomes an eager and disposable ally. They become immune to the energies of death and decay, and ultimately harness the immortality and power of undeath for themselves. So you can be young, old, old, shriveled. You could be, really whatever you want to be and however you want to describe this character. Like, the age thing is the only thing I would keep young, because of course you are rather inexperienced, so we want to give you time to get some experience without hitting old age.
Okay, I'll have to model some more hair on this guy later. but-
Yeah, or just grab the scalpel out.
Don't always base the ability scores where you think you should put them based on min-maxing and everything like that. Like, what would do the best damage, or what would do? Don't even worry about it, because, like, I mean, my guy, he's a half ogre, but his charisma's 18.
Oh,
He's a half ogre fighter, and instead of putting the 18 on strength, I put my 18 on charisma, because it's like, you know what? Let's make him something different.
so the recommendations are you can make a necromancer
like
quickly by
chisels.
following these
Chisel chin.
suggestions. First, charisma should be your highest ability score, followed by constitution and dexterity. And second, you can choose the charlatan background.
That's
That's
like a
optional,
bard kind of
yeah.
thing.
But he's still a wizard?
Yep.
But you didn't mention intelligence, and I thought that's the spellcasting one.
Yeah, I mean you can make that high too. I mean they're factors.
But you said charisma was up there.
That's what they're recommending.
That's for a bard, isn't it?
No,
Oh,
that's
so
for
that's a necromancer.
Yep.
Okay. I guess to be able to talk yourself out of a crap situation. Oh, why'd you raise this dead guy?
Saving
Oh, I
throw.
just.
Did you ever play TF2?
TF2.
Team Fortress 2?
Constitution.
Because I would
is your
say, like, the
ability
medic
to
there
target
is basically a
rapid
charismatic
skill.
necromancer.
That's funny.
He's, yeah, I guess that's just how I describe him.
So I've divided these out. Yeah, looks like pretty good rolls, because the lowest I have is 2 14s.
Those are incredible
That
rolls.
is amazing. Yeah.
And with that is I put those on strength and wisdom.
Okay.
Then 17s.
A 14 strength for a wizard is amazing.
Yes.
He's
That's
got
fantastic.
Dude works out.
he works out, yeah.
Have you seen him wipe his brow a couple times? He's just like 6-pack abs. He's just like,
Kai's just like,
yeah, he's ridiculous. Yeah.
17s from that reading. We put a charisma at 17, dexterity at
like more
17,
stew.
and then my 2 18s I'm sitting at constitution and intelligence.
Yeah, the
I
sickening
think
stew.
that's great.
You know what? Absolutely.
Yeah, that is great.
Good rolls.
He's got the intestinal fortitude to get in there and really dig into his work.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so saving throws for a
Full of
necromancer
magnets go in the mouth.
are constitution and charisma.
Extra protein.
Yeah, that's how I
Exactly.
would feed myself, right?
I love that you can start with a chain sickle. That is amazing.
A Kasarigama?
I didn't even realize
you
that was an option
kidding?
here. No, a Kasarigama. Yeah, you
Race would be human. And
The homins.
alignment.
can. No, you probably get along with the.
You don't have to tell anyone.
Yeah, you don't have to tell anyone. You know what? Most people are chaotic good or chaotic neutral by default, just because it allows them the greatest breadth of allowing them to do what they want without getting in trouble.
Chaos is normally a villain or a bat. Like,
No.
It's not necessarily bad. It
You
just gives.
don't care for law and organized structure of law.
Yeah.
You may want good things to happen to the world, but really, I don't really give a crap. So Batman would be chaotic good, to my
No.
reckoning.
He'd be aloft because he has a code.
Yeah,
I guess he
doesn't
has a
kill,
code.
So that
That's
makes it
true.
awful.
not in the new movies, but
yeah, he gets darker for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Batman is
Yeah.
shooting machine gun there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Michael Keaton
so-
Batman is definitely lawful good.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, not necessarily like
I think I might have to
I'm
research that
gonna
one.
be
Probably trying to
random
sit
or
in their
whatever, but
chair.
it's like, yeah, you don't
That's why.
subscribe to
But ability
I
to hang
do
your
this
coat
because
up
I
on
have
the
to
door.
do this. It's like,
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
do this because
We'll
I
probably
want to.
just make that.
Okay, well, she'll just probably plop her ass down and
Necromancers
stop
can't
roving
think for
around.
that
Tesla.
Well, that said, if your guy is like you're studying
buddy.
like really want to have a mastery over life and death and whatever, and just know the rules that apply to that, maybe there's some lawfulness there. Or you're just like, no, I don't subscribe to the rule of life and death. I'm going to mess around with it, and you might be more chaotic. It's
Yeah.
really however you want to play it.
Perfect. Okay, that's good. Just working on it.
We have a Jace is playing a necromancer. If I remember correct. Sorry, this is for Captain Emo. He's just asking.
What's up, Captain?
We have
Kite. That is
Kite.
Kite is a female monk from the monastery of Atrakul in the north of
Keep it
North
cool.
Australia. Keep it cool at Atrakul. And Lynette is
Kalindra, a dark elf, arcane trickster.
Nice.
And Tyler?
I am Aragorn, also known as Grond. A ogre who acts a lot dumber than he is, even though he's got a little bit of realization about the world. But he's a fighter, and he tries to play up the stupid.
He's also
plays
been,
up the stupid.
Well, he'll play up the stupid, for sure, because that way people think less of him.
and he's definitely been making the common guards that are with the rear end of the caravan there. He's definitely been making everybody in that pack nervous since he's been around. They are not quite sure what to do about the fact that there's an ogre here, and not quite sure why the merchant Corbin at the front has agreed to let these travelers go with him. They've never seen a dark elf either. Which is really actually quite uncommon because the city that they're from, Al-Shanir, gets a lot of different travelers from all over the place. So, but your race doesn't quite make their way to cities a lot. They're not really fond of a lot of people. So,
Dark elves are they more torturers kind of thing?
no.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Warhammer style.
Trizit.
Yeah.
So in this world, they're not quite the same as Forgotten Realms, but they're all evil and evil. Like no, they're just a different race of elves that live a different lifestyle, like whole different history for them and whatnot. Now they do have combative, like they are at war with certain other races, and they don't like high elves. They don't like what the elves have done going their way. So, but they're not all evil. Not inherently.
Not all.
Yeah.
Just some.
Not all, just some. Well, when you skulk around in the dark, the tendency is to gather a lot of dark friends, and not all of them are good, for sure.
I like the ogre that's playing off the Boris Johnson style. Fooling people with his dumbness, but
Yeah.
he's really super smart.
Grond is
Well, we'll
unbalanced,
see how smart he is.
and then we have to glue his fist.
That remains to be seen.
Yeah. Last question I have is the experience points. That's something you develop, right?
Yeah,
Keeps going
we'll start
to
at zero.
Yeah, and we're all starting at zero.
Perfect.
Which
She's got the best table vibe. Thanks. That's awesome. Yeah, anybody like that's chat back there. So if you want to turn and interact, if you notice nobody's mentioned anything to somebody who's chatted, feel free to just the camera is up there, right where it says follow. So
What's up, chat?
and one thing to note also that in this campaign, contrary to what a lot of people might be doing, we have a timer, 30 to 40 seconds. So in combat, you will have that amount of time to make a decision. So we're not going to play that out so much this game because A, combat might not happen, but B, just everybody's getting used to the rules and used to things moving along. But the next 2 or 3 sessions, that is definitely coming into play.
Oh, I look forward to my homework.
Yes. Yeah, know your characters and be ready to act. That's the best policy for sure.
You'll get used to like what you do or what you want your person to do the more you play it. So
Yeah, and if we have to, if you're just confused or anything, just pause. We'll have a look at the rules. We'll bring it up, look it up, let our audience know. We'll all get informed.
My experience with 5th Ed is watching 2 celebrity D&D
Oh yeah,
streams.
Yeah.
That was it.
yeah.
Those are they're interesting, but I didn't
Critical
get, like,
Role's legendary. If you get a
Yes.
chance.
Matthew Mercer.
Matthew Mercer and the folks there. Yeah, I have only actually caught 2 episodes myself. Sorry guys, no time. But amazing. Even a small bit of Critical Role goes a long way. So weapons, you have a choice between
Daggers.
2 daggers, or a chain sickle, leather armor or padded armor.
Kasari Gamma.
Yeah, like
Chainsaw.
the sickle. Oh gosh. Yeah,
Like a Reaper.
sort of. So, man, I could show you. There, I'm gonna pull up the sack.
Hey,
page and
Google,
I'll show you.
what's a chains?
Yeah, so
Frozen chain.
frozen
Okay,
chain
Google,
trees.
show me a Kusari Gamma.
That's
Here's a matching video.
Japanese.
I'm not looking for an Indian love song video. Come on.
okay,
not
so
looking for
this
that.
this is a typical
True.
Kusarigama here. I'm just gonna open this.
I don't think I'm allowed to cross this.
No, you
But
can-
if you
there you go.
So wicked
yes.
elegant weapon.
That can
More
definitely
civilized.
develop into that. So there is the chain at the bottom held here.
Yeah,
That's
there's
a
a weighted chain.
Yeah.
And you can use that to ensnare opponents.
Right now there's a book attached, so that would be okay, but I'll add the blade.
Yeah, there you go.
So that is the weapon.
Nice.
That was called the
Chain sickle.
Sickle of
I
chain.
don't want a sickle, just want to ride my motorcycle. And I don't want to die, just want to ride my motorcycle.
I've only heard 2 people on this planet sing that song.
Oh, really?
You were the second.
That's hilarious. That's awesome. So leather armor or padded armor, those are your choices.
Nice wizards can wear armor.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It looks
And
like
That's right.
a lot of leather on him.
And to be honest, I am not against wizards wearing armor. It all depends on the armor. They're not going to get away with full plate and be casting spells. But if it
Unless
makes
you're
sense,
Artificial.
you know, if padded armor, leather armor, not a big deal.
My dwarf and Dareth skin actually has the ability to wear heavy armor. He has the skills to use it. And I'm like,
Right.
that just feels wrong. I'm going to go medium armor, so he's going to be wearing chainmail.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's
But it's like, oh,
He's a wizard?
Just be a dark evil wizard, be like Ganondorf.
yeah,
And just go full point now.
The only thing is like if there's a lot of somatic gestures and stuff like that with your spells, it's pretty hard with your clunk, clunk, clunk as you're like announcing yourself to an entire cavern full of monsters.
what if I want to play a mech wizard?
Mech wizard, yeah.
Clunk, 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 clunk.
Well, you will have to take your ogre, become a wizard, and then wander through the wrong parallel rift in this world.
And then come up to trip on the rift.
That's right. Yeah, it comes out, all right, I'm ready to learn. And it's like, Mac, tonk, tonk, tonk. You're like, that's what I want to be. Splash.
So you can
And
write down
Yeah, and you're dead. It's like
what is
coming
the
out,
thing.
going through history and coming out, man, I'd love to go out the dinosaur age. And they come out just as that T-Rex's
So for the
butt comes down in the
thing, we're gonna say, like,
Brontosaurus.
plus whatever your
The heavy
modifier is.
meets Godzilla.
Yeah. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Modifier.
Was that at the beginning of Godzilla
Yeah,
1995?
I don't remember, it might be.
Yeah, so there's a movie called Godzilla 1995, I
Plus,
think, or
Your
1989.
either strength or
And at the
dex,
beginning of it, it plays the morning music, and you
Okay.
just see the deer sitting in the field.
And,
Do-do-do-do-do. That just
You would also add your
Godzilla's foot comes down.
So we're all level 1.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
proficiency would be +2. So yeah, proficiency starts at +2, right? Is that chain sickle a finesse weapon? Do you know? Or
Oh.
gotta roll with it.
Yeah, I just am like rolling dice.
Anger
for that.
armor.
Chainsicle is based on
Anger armor,
strength or
too.
dexterity
Oh.
for its
So
Yeah.
it won't matter either one of those, but strength will definitely contribute to your attack.
Okay. So then, whatever your strength modifier is, 14.
If it's a precision weapon, or what do they call it? Not a precision. Finesse. That's it. I read through the book, and it looks so much. They did simplify it.
damage type would be a stab.
Daggers.
Yeah, stabbing or bludgeoning, you know, because it depends on how you're using that weapon. So I'm going to add a certain level of bludgeoning damage for that thing if the impact is directed from that chain, that weighted chain on the end.
Yeah, because you could have piercing, slashing, or bludgeoning with that weapon. It would be like
Yep.
truly variable.
Yeah, well,
It's gonna be
slashing's
got a
hard, but
weight.
yeah, I mean, you've got to not pierce with that hook in order to slash. So
You'd
it's
have to
hard,
you'd have to
right?
get behind something and just kind of drag it back. So
Yeah.
act like a rake. So just kind of.
So you
Right,
call
so
you
sneak
call that,
attacks or
and I'll
something.
call it accordingly.
Sounds
Piercing,
good.
slashing, and bludgeoning.
Slashing is more sneak attack, the rest is up and down.
You also know 2 cantrips of your choice from the wizard spell list. Right off the bat.
Cantrips. That's
Now these are something you can cast freely
Anytime.
as much as you want.
Probably
A lot of people choose prestidigitation.
there's no spellcasters here, so we need somebody to heal stuff for a party usually.
Yeah, she doesn't get. She doesn't get so
Wizard
sorry.
spells.
Kalindra?
Yeah.
won't get
I
wizard
find
spells
more
until
fun
3rd level.
Is,
Yeah.
what do you think your character would be interested in studying magic-wise?
Don't worry about balancing the party. Worry about yourself.
Okay, sounds good. So with necromancy, it's if there's something of raising the dead, I'm sure that's kind of like the go-to for necromancers.
Yeah. So like,
That's
if you
what-
wanted to do like healing things like
Our
that, I
page.
think like you're interested in mending broken dead flesh kind of thing. Okay, sure. Or maybe you're like,
So when we kill things along the way, we can use them as bodyguards later, kind of thing.
yeah, really, yeah, like
You
raise the
can.
dead kind of thing. Then yeah,
Although Although that said, you know inherently from being who you are and being raised in that school of magic that having a skeleton or two marching beside you will scare the bejeebus out of people you were with.
So page
Put a
207.
funny hat on him.
Yeah, put a little hat, a little bow tie.
Page 207 will give him all the. Just wait. Or sorry, no, he's wizard. There we go. Page 210. There's all the first level cantrips.
Yeah, and you get 2 first level spells as well.
So you'd be looking from here all the way down. It'd be looking at just the cantrip.
Just the cantrips now.
First level.
Yeah, so it'd be right there.
Okay.
So yeah, prestidigitation seems to be one I notice a lot of people pick up just because they crawl out of a swamp and they're all covered in swamp goo and stuff like that. Prestidigitation, how to clean.
A clean necromancy.
Yeah, you get like all your like blood and guts deep,
Well, yeah,
and then
but
you're
that way you
like,
can get rid of the.
but it saves on dry cleaning. So
Right?
There's actually a lot that you can do with prestidigitation too, like blowing out candles across a room, lighting a candle across a room,
Oh.
like a lot of very small utility stuff that distractions, sounds, just little stuff here and there.
Lighting rooms sounds like
tricks.
a very important thing.
Yeah, like it'd be lighting up. Oh, I'm just gonna. There we go. I lit a candle. It's not like you're lighting the whole room on fire, but it's just a very small, useful effect, and it's within the GM's discretion.
Here we go. This spell is a minor magical trick that novice spellcasters use for practice. You can create one of the following magical effects within range. You create an instantaneous, harmless sensory effect, such as a shower of sparks, a puff of wind, faint musical notes, or an odd odor, and you can customize these. If you want to show a shower of like little star-shaped whatever, you can get creative. You instantaneously clean or soil an object no larger than 1 cubic foot. You chill, warm, or flavor up 1 cubic foot of non-living material for 1 hour. You make a color, a small mark, or a symbol appear on an object or a surface for 1 hour. You create a non-magical trinket or illusory image that can fit in your hand and that lasts until the end of your next turn. If you cast this spell multiple times, you can have up to 3 of its non-instantaneous effects active at a time, and you can dismiss each effect as an action. So you can, basically create fireworks shows if you so desire.
like Jubilee.
So it's a 10-foot range.
It sounds like a very handy one to have as personal
Verbal?
character and virtue.
Verbal and somatic components, and it only takes 1 action to cast.
That was called prestidigitation.
It's a whole new word for me when I learned it. It's like, yeah. I love it when I learn a new word. Prestidigio, what?
Prestidigitation.
Man, this is awesome. You just cleaned me?
Almost got it.
And still got you.
Yeah, now they say like up to 1 cubic foot,
Tell you.
but I think the going thing is that we'll clean a character up.
You can cast it as many times as you want, as often as you want.
I'll clean my sleeve. I'll clean my other sleeve. I'll
What is
clean my
chill
vest.
touch?
Chill touch.
That one's actually very close to necromancy. It would probably be a very useful one because it'll do cold and undead damage. So I think that would probably be very appropriate.
Yeah, you basically create a ghostly skeletal hand in the space of a creature within that range. You make a ranged spell attack against the creature to assail it with the Chill of the Grave. On a hit, the target takes 1d8 necrotic damage, and it can't regain hit points until the start of your next turn. Until then, the hand clings to the target. If you hit an undead target, it also has disadvantage on attack rolls against you until the end of your next turn.
If I buy the pizza, can I come and play one day? Captain
Nice.
Nemo?
Yes, you sure can, Captain. You are welcome at this table anytime, sir.
Heck yeah.
Okay, so those are the 2.
Those are the 2? Those are good ones. I really like that you took Chill Touch. It seems very fitting for your character.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I think I was only getting 2.
And now you get first level spells.
Yeah, those are just your cantrips.
That
You
was
can cast
207?
those suckers anytime.
Yeah, so I
210.
210.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
same page.
One page off, so that's good. 1 first level.
Yeah, I think you'll get more than 1 first level.
You get 2 first levels.
2 first.
Yes.
So cantrips are like something that's easy for you to do. You can just do it. Like prestidigitation's a spell mages use to practice magic, so it's like, oh yeah, it's easier to do.
It's easy.
The higher up spell level it is, the more it takes out of you to cast it. So if you're using the power of animate, that you're just like,
Yeah.
Kame.
The power of anime.
versus just like, haha, one powerful hand.
Yeah.
Well, they were making fun of this one stream I watched. They made fun of magic missile.
So,
But it's-
most useful spell in the entire wizard's arsenal, as far as I'm concerned,
You're correct too.
until you hit level 5, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, magic missile, you're going to cast one or multiple energy darts, basically, and they are going to heat seek that target. And not even heat, they're just going to seek the target. They do not miss. So that's why they're helpful, is in that, you need to make sure a hit's going to hit. Use that magic missile.
And it's magical damage, so nothing can resile it automatically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, flashy blue magical darts of death.
So,
Speaking of Kamehameha, it's basically that.
Yeah.
Now, not to bag on Dragon Ball too much. I don't really watch it. I've watched a couple episodes. But how is it that they can move theoretically faster than the speed of light, but it takes them 8.6 hours to throw a GD punch?
I mean, it's all relative, right?
Yeah.
Like to us, the audience, it's going really fast, or it's taking forever.
Yeah, but I mean, they're having a complete conversation. I will destroy you. No, you won't. You can't hurt me. I will destroy you.
Classic.
I
8
mean,
hours later, 10 episodes.
And then once that punch lands, you're like, that was a sweet punch.
Punch.
Took a while to
False
get there,
life.
but damn, was it
There's one I'm not familiar with.
And you know what? And just because of stuff like that, as much as I love anime,
oh man, that's
I
amazing.
actually really got into One Punch
Cash's
Man.
hideous
Mm.
laughter.
Because,
That's a good one too.
I
There's
mean, legitimately, it is such a beautiful deconstruction.
wow.
The first season, at least.
Bolstering yourself. So false life is bolstering yourself with a necromantic facsimile of life. You gain 1d4 plus 4 temporary hit points for the duration.
Nice.
Yeah, and at high levels when
You
it
said
casts.
necromantic. You had me at necromantic. And the other one I chose, I don't know if it's smart, but it just seemed like with the charisma I've added to charm person.
Oh man, that is a great spell.
Heat-seeking moisture missile. Things are about to get moist.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ugh.
So those are a couple of
See,
pretty
they
cool
think-
spells. So the one thing about false life is it does have verbal, somatic, and it requires some material components as well. A small amount of alcohol or distilled spirits. So you'll need that on you in order to cast that spell.
I'll go find that.
Go Jackie Chan.
Yeah, you've already
drinking
got a
master.
flask, you've got a vial of alcohol that's some really heavy spirits, not the drinkable kind, so you're sure anybody that smells that is not going to pound it back, but it's like heavy alcohol, and that's kind of what you carry. So the metal flask. Metal because you've already had the rough experience of carrying them in a glass flask. And that's
Oh. So the flask would be an equipment.
And then you also get to pick which did you go with, leather armor or padded armor?
He's wearing lots of leather, so I padded sounds better, but matching the model, we'll go leather.
Okay.
That's under equipment.
Being a necromancer, is there zippers across them?
Yeah, and your armor class is 11 with light.
Plus his dex of 3, so 14. It's pretty solid, actually.
Yeah, plus your dex modifier.
Dexterity was +3.
Yep.
Do I rate that somewhere?
Yeah, just right in the big box here.
+3.
And then you also get to select a Dungeoneer's pack or an Explorer's pack. Would you like to know what each of those are?
I have no idea.
So, Dungeoneer's pack includes a backpack, a crowbar, a hammer, 10 pitons for a hammer and a piton where you need it, 10 torches, a tinderbox, 10 days of rations, and a water skin. This pack also has 50 feet of hemp rope strapped to the side of it. And then there's the Explorer's pack, which includes a backpack, a bedroll, a mess kit, a tinderbox, 10 torches, 10 days of rations, and a water skin, as well as 50 feet of rope. So the Dungeoneer's pack here is a little bit more mountaineering, like if you need to, do some rope work and stuff to get yourself down.
Mountaineering, and you said we are near mountains.
Yeah, you're about, you can see 3 to 5 miles in to the north or 3 to 5 miles to the south, you see jagged ranges of mountains.
And that was the mountaineering pack was the Dungeoneers?
Dungeoneers pack. Yeah.
Alright, under equipment.
Yeah, so you have a backpack. Yeah, we'll just say you want to remember the crowbar and the hammer. Everybody's got torches, tinderbox.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has rations and a water skin.
Well, I should write all of those individual items down, but
Yeah, we know you've got a Dungeoneers pack, so but you'll want to you'll want to know
Eventually,
you have a
okay.
rope for sure.
hemp rope too.
Hemp rope, yeah.
Always need rope.
It's like, man, I've been smoking this rope and getting nothing off of it. It's like,
And
it's hemp, you idiot.
it don't do a thing for me.
Okay, you've got your 2 spell slots, and we got your stats figured out. That's good.
Yeah. I haven't added the bonuses, just this.
Yeah,
But
that's
it's +2 for 14.
That's awesome. You wrote it in the reverse areas.
Did I?
Yeah, usually the big numbers in the big space.
Switch that around.
All good though. It's all good. Lots of people.
Whatever makes you
do it
feel
different.
better.
Actually, I do it that way too.
Yeah.
Because
It's
you'll use your
personal preference.
modifiers more than you will your stats. So I'm like
The 18 was +4.
+4, yeah.
What was 7 +3? You said
+3. So every even number,
Pretty sure
it'll go
D6 is your hit dice as well.
Knock a D6.
I think so.
Knock a D6.
Yeah. So 1d6, and then plus your Constitution modifier. So you'll start with 10 hit points right off the bat.
10 hit points.
Also, Deborah, you start with max hit points plus your modifier for the first level.
Thank you.
Is that hit
Yeah.
dice? No.
Yeah, your
Points.
hit
Write
dice
your,
is
write your
D6.
individual hit dice in each location, because when you take a short rest, you can regain a hit dice.
So you said 10 hit points currently.
Dang, you are one tough son
So far,
of
so
a
good.
wizard.
Oh, and the long rest thing, so there's a general rule that some people are using where a long rest will heal all your hit points. That is not the case here. If you are fucking wounded, you are wounded. You will not recover unless you A, stabilize the wound, like bandage it, whatever you want to do. Then a long rest will heal your hit points, but not all the way.
28 plus your 3, so 11.
Depends on the wound, is how you depend.
And it's like, man, I was slashed across the back with this sword. I'm better this morning. No, not happening here.
She turned into a nude. We got better.
Go, brother.
Yeah.
That's one thing about 5th edition that I find really rough. So do we do the short rest? You gain a hit dice value then?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so as long as your wound is stabilized, you can get the first hit dice. But depending on the state of rest, depending on like all sorts of things, is going to determine how many hit points I give you guys back after a long rest.
That's why I love 2nd edition for that.
Oh, character name.
There's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
No, right now, he hasn't even talked to anybody to even say a name. He's a man of many mysteries.
Perfect. Well, thank you for the help. That was awesome.
Yeah, no problem.
It's just a thought.
He's a man of science. Deathly science.
Yeah.
There's no time for names.
There we go. Just throwing this out there. You don't have to do this. I'm just saying.
Rob Zombie.
But
Oh,
the spelling is different.
Yeah.
RHABZHAMBI.
Right now, Rob's watching this. Yes.
Yes.
I approve.
Zombies are kind of my thing.
Yeah.
House of 1,000 Corpse.
So you also get a couple of bonus features. One is spell casting and life tap. So spell casting, you draw negative energy in the world to fuel your spells. That's that. And life tap. Starting at first level, your touch can siphon the life force of others to bolster your own. As an action, you can make a melee spell attack against a living creature, dealing necrotic damage equal to 1d8 plus your charisma modifier on a hit, hence the need for charisma. You gain temporary hit points equal to the amount of necrotic damage dealt. If this feature kills the creature, you gain twice as many temporary hit points from using that feature.
Stack up.
That's awesome.
And does it automatically return as a zombie?
The damage increases by 1d8 when you reach 5th level. And goes on. You may use that feature a number of times equal to your charisma modifier, minimum 1. And you gain all uses of this feature at the end of a long rest.
Oh, so you can use it a few times.
Yeah.
Because of the modifier.
Your charisma is
That was called life tap.
life tap. Yep.
Sounds good. And the other one you said, sorry, was
Spell
spellcasting.
casting.
Yeah. spellcasting.
I like this. At second level, you can choose an occult which specializes you in your dealings with death. You can choose Keeper, Reaper, Undertaker, and Witch Doctor. That's Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor.
I've got
Crazy. Yeah. I'm just picturing like grimy fingernails and like just like just
Baba
like,
Yaga type thing.
A
yeah.
series of witches keep coming out of his office.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, they're long. Yeah, that'll work well.
All right. Are we ready?
You got it.
I believe so.
All right, let the carriage begin. So, it's a beautiful morning. It's just before noon, probably about 11ish. Sun's shining, beams coming through the fairly thick canopy of trees on this road. If you have a look over there, that's kind of what you're looking at right now, that road on the right. So it's a fairly well-used road. Lots of caravans travel back and forth on this main road, but it does get thin and wider as it goes. It crosses areas that nobody's keeping this road up in most places. So in places where there's bridges and stuff, sometimes you got to be careful. You guys know this by default. Like, don't count on the path ahead. Everybody's told you that in the caravan. You've been asking, hey, what's it like traveling to highwatch and trying to gather some information? You all have highwatch on the brain. You've all received information at one point or another. Kite has a scroll that she is supposed to transport from her monastery, from the head abbot there, to the head abbot of a similar monastery just outside of Highwatch. So you are a courier temporarily, and the rest of you have been somewhat hired, somewhat not hired. He's the caravan leader, the merchant Corbin. He's transporting silks to Highwatch and silk tapestries, and he said that he will compensate anybody for, defending his caravan on the way there. The next place that you're supposed to stop is a town called Sember, and Sember is known as the Jewel of the Northern Mountains, and it is the largest town. It's almost a city, but it's the largest town probably for at least 2 weeks travel in either direction, west, east. There's a road that leads north and south from Sember. So that's your next destination, and from there you'll probably split off with this caravan. I mean, he might rest there for a couple of days. You guys aren't linked to this caravan, but he's agreed to travel with you. You guys will all take in the same direction. So, just to recap, Ty, what are you doing?
I'm up here pretending to watch for an ambush, but unsuccessfully doing so still.
Okay. Are you actually watching for an ambush, or are you pretending to watch for an ambush?
Well, I was watching for an ambush, but I rolled an 8 with bonuses, so I'm definitely not.
Mine is wandering a little bit. Yeah, it's a beautiful day, beautiful scenery, so easily understood. And you?
Just kind of watching around for anything suspicious or getting people, anything that says anything.
Okay, so just keeping an eye out. And you?
Kite is focusing on a lot of breathing exercises to regain a good constitution after that stew.
Yeah, so, and you're fine, and you are coming around as well. So you can feel the cool breeze wafting in from the flaps on the back of the covered
Little
wagon.
Oz.
You've been ill in the back. You've been ill in the back and puking off the end of the wagon. But now you're starting to feel a little queasy from the bumpiness of the caravan, and you're looking to get some fresh air.
Alright, so I'm hopping out and walking.
Yep, okay, so you hop out the back of the wagon and rejoin. Where are you placing your guy?
These are wagons.
So each one is a covered wagon. The third one is known to contain the silk, and sometimes it trades place along the course. It trades places with the second caravan, but right now it's
And I do not know my companions yet.
no. So you've been traveling for 2 days since the last crossroads, and you've overheard some conversations at the front. You know that Brigger, the cleric on the left, and his fighter companion on the right. They've been traveling with the ranger, the colored one there. Yep, they've been traveling with her from Al Shanir to the east. They haven't been hired by this caravan per se, but they met up with the caravan shortly before the intersection of the roads that you all arrived at. And you all just decided to travel together. But you've heard from these guys that they're telling war stories, like they've known similar people, they've fought in some similar wars, but you get a sense that they don't know each other, but they're pretty friendly, and they seem to have a lot of history. History in common, yeah.
Alright, well I would hop out and try and get to a spot behind around here with the ranger.
Okay. Yeah, you can put your mini wherever you're. Yeah, okay. And you found since being there that the ranger is not much for small talk. You haven't really attempted to engage in conversation, and she seems to appreciate the fact that you haven't. So she's actually giving you a little bit more respect than she's been giving some of the more chatty types, like the ogre, whose voice sounds so loud in this forest. So, but you're traveling okay, and it's just getting on to noon, and a couple of hours roll by. It's fairly uneventful. You don't seem to notice anything out of the ordinary. Any changes in behavior?
I guess Kite would just kind of be just kind of like keeping her eyes around. She might jump off a tree or like a rock or something. It's just like a little bit of on the road training, but also like trying to keep quiet. Kind of thing. She's very stealthy lady.
So spot ahead. Okay, then yeah, you guys continue on for another couple of hours. The sun's still staying up in the sky. It's still fairly bright. There's near no clouds at all, so things are sunny and everything seems to be going without incident, surprisingly. And this is like day 17 now that you guys have been traveling, all of you in total. With the caravan, only 2.5 days now. Let me find perfect. And you have all your spells memorized, of course.
He'll actually be able to have all of them memorized because his intelligence modifier will allow him to memorize everything he's got.
Okay. So you guys continue on for another hour, and the apparently the guards that have been sick, the two at the back there, and the ranger who hasn't been feeling good, but she's been holding her own. Those two guards at the back, they're too sick. And it's getting late enough in the afternoon that despite some grumblings, the merchant decides that he's going to call a stop to the caravan. So you guys don't have anywhere you can pull off to the side of the road. It's too thick. The foliage is simply too thick. So they decide to just move the caravan off just on the side of the road and break camp. So it's an early camp. You guys can do what you want.
Kite help, I guess, one of the guards. Just try to help him feel better.
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah, he has no problem with you approaching. He's in poor shape to argue with anybody at this point. So he gratefully accepts any help or condolences for his vomiting. And his other friend ducks into one of the covered wagons, the one that you were in, to try and rest a little bit. They're not well. And a couple of the guards have taken off their suits of armor and crawled into the back while the fighters. So you can take these 4 guards at the back right off the map for now. They're in a covered wagon. And there's 2 in the back and 2 in the middle covered wagon, and they are trying to sleep. And the cleric is here. So the cleric is back here now, the fighter is staying up in the front, and the ranger has just wandered off and has disappeared into the foliage in the tree line.
I hear a lot of stuff.
Bit of an earthquake. Yeah, and then that other guard that's up the front, he's just standing. He's watching around, and he's kind of doing a light patrol around just the road. He's going up a bit on the road, about 50 yards, and then coming back off the end of the caravan about 50 yards. So he's on a patrol. They've lit a fire between the first caravan and the second caravan, and that's kind of where everybody's gathered. You can actually put, sure, let's put this D6 in between those 2 front caravans. And that is where the fire is. So there's a bit of light coming from these, but otherwise it's fairly dark. Things are quiet. So you guys, you can do. Oh, there we go.
We're at dusk, was it? Or dark?
It is getting dark. Yeah, they're starting to cook some food. It's mutton stew. So you're staying well away from rabbit this evening?
Wondering if I should just eat my rations.
I think I'm gonna eat my rashes, just in case that's what's making them sick.
Yeah, well, you see Brigger, he's like ladling some of that stuff into a crude wooden bowl, and the fighter as well.
I'm just gonna s-
Well, this kite can just kind of be grabbing like some sticks and kindling and stuff.
Roll me perception.
Not one.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so you're just hanging out in the thicket there. You don't notice anything out of the ordinary. Yeah.
just swing up in the tree and just kind of keep watch from
Okay,
up the tree.
okay. So how high are you climbing?
As far as I can, where I can still actually see.
Well, you can get right up to the top bough of this thing, and we're talking, 25 feet up, 28 feet up.
Is it so thick though that I can't see down?
Well, if you get up, yeah, you can see the road because there's a clear gap to the road. But the forest canopy to this side is very thick. We don't see any breaks in it. The odd space and whatnot, but nothing that would indicate that there's a path or a road anywhere in that thick jungle.
But if I go down, can I see through, or
Yeah,
is it still
it's
pretty
thick. It's really thick. Yeah. So you can march your way through the wilderness, but it's
You know what? Because I can see up and down the road, right?
it's that thick. That forest right there, it is literally that thick.
Probably big tents.
So
I
you're
can
gonna,
see up and down the road still.
yeah, you can
Okay,
for
I'll
sure.
do that.
I'll get you to roll perception as well.
You can also make a convincing bird call there too.
Oh, it was almost a 20.
15.
15?
Plus,
Okay, from your vantage point, you actually see the ranger sitting atop a rock, a bit of a rocky outcropping, and she's just scanning, just looking around. You don't know, what she's doing, but you see that it looks like she's just keeping a watchful eye over things. Still very quiet. A couple of hours pass.
Aragorn's grabbing big kindling and tree things for having fire. Anyone want to help Grond?
Kite just kind of looks down at her like 2 tiny sticks.
We can make more.
Yeah.
He'll pull out one of his axes and start hacking stuff.
You hear Brigger, hey, you there, big fella. He's like, don't disturb the woods. There's lots of things crawling out here at night.
Oh, sorry. Grond will put his axe away.
Yeah, he didn't look too terribly upset. He just looked very shocked that there was any loud noise going on at all.
So if I can find some really big deadfall, I'll drag some big deadfall over.
Yeah,
And
you don't-
just
You have no problem grabbing some deadfall, but the size of deadfall that your big ogre hands drag out forces the two people in the front, Brigger, to push the caravan apart a little bit to make room for the bonfires. You just slap that thing right on top of it.
Grond helping fire.
It's like, yeah.
I'm gonna start a forest fire.
Yeah, the fighter says, just go easy on the light. We're trying to not draw attention to ourselves in this foul place.
So they'll pick up a big piece of deadfall. It's even got some leaves on it. This clouding fire.
Okay, so leaves on it. Leaves generate more smoke.
Yeah, but it's getting dark now. So, the smoke is disappearing into a bit of the night sky now. The fighter actually comes over and pats the ogre on the shoulder and said, are you guys taking watch then? If me and my friend here grab some much needed rest?
Sure, I can watch.
Perfect, he says. And he slaps you on the shoulder. Thanks, old chum. And he walks down to the back and gets into the caravan at the very end. And he's just, so the fighter, actually, the other guy. Oh, yeah, that guy was that's the cleric.
Oh, that's
That's him. So that guy, that's the fighter. So that fighter goes into the end caravan here, and he's basically just propped up, looking out the end, resting up against some silk tapestries, and he dozes off, tips his helm down on his head, and he's dozing off for the night. The other guard at the front, he is also taking his leave, steps into the caravan at the front. The merchant and the boy that were riding in the front, they've already gone to bed for the merchant goes to sleep early, and his servant just basically sits in the wagon staring out into space while this guy sleeps. And he's even passed out now. He's a young kid. He's only about 11 years old. But he's very good with horses, you've discovered, and he's got a natural affinity for riding and being able to operate a wagon. So, but yeah, he's passed out on his watch, so he's almost useless. Where did Brigger go? Brigger's over here. Brigger's also stepping into the second caravan, and 2 guards come out. So 2 of the guys that were sleeping, they get booted out. And another couple of hours passes with no interruptions. The light on the fire is starting to die down, and you have a choice. You can either rekindle it to stay on.
I'll chop a section of deadfall about this big off, toss it onto the fire.
Okay, Lynette, can I get your roll perception?
15.
15. You notice that the ranger has disappeared. She is no longer on that rocky outcropping, and you can't see her.
No sound was made.
No sounds made. You don't really hear anything. Some crickets and stuff like that. You hear some night ambient music courtesy of tabletop audio. And yeah, and basically on your watch, you guys, you're fine. Another couple of hours passes. The guards do a bit of an exchange. Those 2 guards for another 2 guards that were in there. Are you staying up? Is everybody staying up or getting some rest?
I think
Keeping in mind that for everybody that doesn't have a high constitution, staying up all night long is going to affect your performance the next day.
I only need 4 hours of sleep, so
Awesome.
I can sleep near the end.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll just say that Lindra takes guard duty at some point. I mean, she's already maintaining a fairly watchful eye from the treetops there.
Kite will go for snooze meditate.
Food poisoning would take quite a bit out of me.
Yeah, you're okay now.
I'm okay,
Yeah.
but
You already went through the peanuts.
so that was just me regaining my energy kind of
Yep.
thing. So
So
I
you
would
two
need
are
to
tapping
rest
for now?
right away.
No, you're okay.
Okay.
I mean, you can
Okay.
read a spell book by the light of the fire, or you can, wander around, see a forge. I mean, there's no light to do that, but
Warmth is good.
Kite's taking a snooze by the fire.
okay.
And you know what? Aragorn, if these 2 are awake, Aragorn's gonna nap too. He's gonna nap right there. He's just gonna kind of drop, put his back against the tree. Aragorn, sleep too. Wake me up in a bit of time. Wake me up before you go. Don't leave me hanging on like some device I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? A phone?
It's just the owner saying over things.
Okay, so there's what you're just hanging out by the fire.
Yeah, I wanted to go get some warmth.
Okay, so you guys do a bit of there's a little bit of a guard exchange, so people get rest. Eventually, the birds are chirping and the sun begins to rise. And yeah, you guys are fairly thankful for the sun rising, but it looks like there's clouds on the horizon.
It's the sound of clouds, I guess.
Yeah, no sound of no sound of thunder or anything yet, but it is definitely a little bit more overcast than it was the day previous. And it begins to rain. Yeah, just light rain.
So fires out.
Yeah, well, that thing is just a smoldering.
Nice. It's about 8.
Yeah, these are like brutal. All right, so we can put everybody back in caravan position, and the caravans together.
So the ranger
Why are our rangers?
Survived first night.
Huzzah! Woohoo! Wasn't so tough.
Technically, you survived a few days now.
Is Ranger back?
Yep, Rangers back in formation. They're out there, and anyone's themselves attacks me on the shoulder like that. Kick me sign. Yeah, no doubt. Big kick me sign on the ogre.
Yeah.
That's why everybody's slapping you on the shoulder. You've like got multiple signs on your back now.
Yeah, and he's probably, to be honest, he probably knows. And he's probably cool with it.
This is as good a break as any. If you guys want to take 2 minutes and go grab some snacks, grab a coffee, grab a drink, whatever you want.
I don't remember where people are situated, so I'm just moving guys around.
Lots of stuff to eat there, guys. Coffee's house. Lots of stuff to drink. There's green tea already made in the pot, if tea is your thing.
So, oh, thank you.
The ranger came back.
Yep, Ranger came back. You have no idea when she came back.
It's like she never left.
Yeah, she was gone when you went to bed, and she was there in the morning.
Alright. Got a close eye on that one.
Although, you know,
Never
despite
know might be hunting.
despite her very quiet demeanor, you don't seem to get a sense of impending evil or anything from her. And she is traveling with Brieger and the fighter, so you kind of get a sense that these guys are okay. But nobody's really big on trust in these parts, so.
You know what they say though. The breaker they are, the harder they fall.
Quite the spread you got going on there.
Yeah, I like that, eh?
Buffet.
Alright, 5-minute buffet goes there. I gotta get some fresh coffee. It was cool shit, it's killing me. God, it's a waste when there's this opportunity to go get the road snacks. Very true. These are 2 days old. The donuts are 2 days old. That's why they're so good because they're processed as shit. Exactly. They don't go bad. Well. Yeah, they don't go bad. They just no sugar acid. Yeah, that's-
Do your drafts. Macon North, where are you from?
Waiting on it.
Thought if you asked if you could ask one, oh sure.
Oh no, you did catch.
Sorry.
Oh.
Wait on the decision.
Seems like you had dropped something in. Picked up a snack too.
Hey, Ty.
Nebraska.
Oh,
Well dang.
Careful about debating things too long or you'll end up becoming a master debater. We're doing puns all evening. Thanks for coming out.
is Nebraska a swing state?
I don't think so. I think that's straight red.
Yeah, maybe. Get your dresses from the basket. Oh yeah.
Hi.
Okay, so you're traveling now. You're in the caravan. You guys have been moving along for a couple of hours, and I'm actually. What are you guys doing? Tell me. Ty?
Same thing as before. Still watching these two and still trying to pay attention to the road ahead.
And your mind is still
And again.
wandering. You are really in the butterflies, the birds, the greenery. I mean, you come from a little more rocky and arid region, so you're not quite as used to all the green that you've been seeing since you've been here. Mind is wandering a little bit. Lynette, roll me a perception check.
6.
You are all a little bit enraptured with.
Oblivious.
Yeah, a little bit oblivious, a little bit enraptured
7.
with the. Nice. And you? What are you doing?
Kites, how big is this caravan, by the way? Is it covered on the top?
Yep, covered wagons. They're about, I guess they would be 10 feet at their height.
I guess she would have taken a moment when Noah was looking to try and sneakily jump up to the top and kind of hitch a ride.
Hitch right on the top.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get you to.
Some sneaky trading.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna get you to roll an intimidation check.
Intimidation.
Yeah. As one of the guards notices you climb up to the top and raises a hand in dispute. You cast
14.
that's fine. You cast a glare back, and he just puts his hand down and continues to march. It seems you're not supposed to be up there, but you get up fine, and actually the ribbing on the covered caravan is enough to support you when that's covering, so you're okay.
A deft little leap and handspring.
Yep.
Into a deft
Gron tired. Might join you up there. Gron turns to kind of use exercise.
Does anyone else
Shouldn't be
seem sick
calories.
now?
Nobody seems sick. Everybody is marching along fine. The mutton stew is like super good. Everybody's loving it. And nobody was drinking any alcohol last night, so everybody's fine. Yeah, doing okay.
Has the ranger said anything upon her return?
Not a word. Nope. Not a word. And nothing seems much changed with the behavior of those three from yesterday. Although you did overhear that the caravan should be arriving in December in just another day. So you're fairly close now.
Can I give the ranger an inquisitive nod? Kind of like, everything good? You were out last night. Just a nod, no words, just...
She said, just keeping watch. It's like these woods are not to be trusted. There's been dirty work afoot. Okay, so you're up top.
Mhm.
You might actually. I'm gonna get everybody to roll perception.
Okay, don't do this again till we
17.
7.
What'd you roll?
2 plus
5.
So the,
You notice the birds have stopped.
Oh.
You don't hear birds anymore.
Just like,
You're like, do you hear any birds?
There's a thing I forgot.
Birds?
Is you have to
They
take
stopped.
skills that you can
I'll
get.
take another better look.
Okay.
No, I think I hear some. They're just quiet.
You guys hear it,
Just add +2
and you see
to whatever.
you see the boy at the front of the caravan with an arrow protruding right out of his neck. And he slumps over, and all of a sudden, initiative.
message for
Oh, nat 20.
Hell yeah.
14.
4 plus 8.
All right, we're gonna have to break out some minis here.
19.
On the side of the caravan, opposite from the ogre, you see, or opposite from, sorry, what's the name? Gron?
Aragorn or
Gron, yeah. Gron, you see that tree almost shatter in half as an ogre smashes into view. From around here, you see it's basically just chaos breaks out as several orcs come into view. You guys know what orcs are. You're familiar with the tales of ogres. You've never seen them personally. You have.
Yeah.
But you've never seen one. He's bigger and he's battered.
You said this tree.
That tree. Yeah.
Oh.
Basically, he just like hand palmed and like snap as he lunged into view, and he's right in front of you. So we're gonna break out a few minis right now. There is 5 orcs and an ogre.
Aragorn hates ogres because his backstory, not getting into it, he hates ogres.
And ogres are not fond of him either, because any half-breed ogre is viewed as an abomination.
A bastard?
A bastard, yeah,
A target for squish.
that's right.
I've not seen any of them.
I think they're all in here.
I'm nervous because
So there's orcs accompanying this ogre, so it's not just ogre mating season coming for you or anything like that.
So 5 orcs
Yes.
and 1 ogre. That's what you see this round.
I'm just gonna call that.
So I was notified that I'm supposed to pick.
Oh yeah, so you'll have to do those too. Those are actually going to come up. So we
in
should
the
do
white and the
those
red ones, they're
fairly
the fat
soon.
guys with the
You'll
stone
have
clubs.
You'll basically apply your modifiers to each.
Yeah,
of
those
these.
guys are orcs.
This
The
one
ghoul.
is,
This one here's a ghoul.
intelligence, So you apply whatever modifier.
Let's see. Let's get some light over here.
Yeah.
Is anybody too warm? No? Okay, good. Just so I can crack that door.
So I do it to all of them?
Here's another orc.
Yeah, you basically find your modifier and put it in.
Orc. So, your class. And then there's other things you can pick too, like background. And your race, whatnot, will give you specific orc efficiencies, I suppose.
Finding over.
Chose human.
So, what does a human get? They're kind of like your all-around general things. Oh shoot, we also forgot to do this too. You can either do regular human, where you just get +1 to all your ability scores. So that would be all those.
And you see that the ogre is armed
Or-
with what looks like half of a young tree.
And choose 2 different.
Well, we can
abilities,
use
increase
Grond
by
as the
1,
ogre.
and you'd gain
Original
proficiency on
Grond.
skill.
There we go. Here we go. We got a gun.
Feat of your choice.
Oh, jeez, so many choices.
So that's so if you want to do just like
Is a feat a feature?
yeah,
Okay.
or else like 20s. So
For this first one, to make it easy, we should do the straight human.
Okay.
yeah, so then just
So,
+1.
Where's the orcs? They like it's an
The
ambush
bottom
around
part
here,
or
Kelly?
the plus?
Just
the
everywhere?
whole
Some
caravan.
of them
They
will
are.
affect
There
plus,
is
but do the
orc
bottom
there,
one
ogre
first.
here, orc here, orc here, orc here, and orc there. There should be 5 orcs total.
Yep.
And 1 ogre. You also hear some higher pitched yells from beyond where they're coming from. And you haven't seen what that's coming from yet.
Oh, it's making me running.
Yeah, the main problem right now is that ogre has smashed through and is right close to you.
Not 20 initiative.
Yeah.
Probably get to roll. So 23 dirty.
You'll get to make a decision for sure.
Over on ogre action.
Yeah, ogre on half ogre.
Oh, only half ogre.
Only half ogre. Ogrillion.
Okay, so I added 1 to each of those.
Okay, so anything that's 18 would now be +4.
What, did 19 go up?
Nope,
19
19.
stay the same.
Yeah,
Perfect. So 15 from 14.
that stays the same.
Okay. 19 stays the same.
Stays the same. So it's even number. If it goes up, it'll change.
Okay,
It's
so
an odd number.
15 stays the same.
The orcs are moving with surprising speed too. You're all. The only reason you're not surprised is because somebody picked up that the birds weren't singing anymore.
Also, there's an arrow.
Yeah, also there's an arrow. Yeah, but that kid made hardly any sound. Yeah, just the people in the immediate vicinity saw that kid take the arrow and drop like a rock. And the immediately Corbin, the merchant, shouts. He's freaking out. He's like, "No!" And he ducks back over the top of the front of the caravan and into the back of the cavern. He's like, "Protect me!"
I'm too rich to die.
Yeah, I'm too rich to die.
So, the boy took an arrow. From my experience with orcs and ogres, they don't really use bows often.
These guys got such terrible.
I don't know about this one.
Okay,
Maybe they do. Maybe
maybe they don't. I don't know. From what
I have not studied orcs, so I could not tell you.
okay.
Everybody except the
Yeah. So here you're gonna have 2 saving throws. So for a wizard,
What
you're
kind of penalties are we running?
intelligence.
Called shots.
no penalties. I mean, when you make a called shot, you still got to get a 20 in order to nail
Do I
that
write
specific
anything?
spot.
Yes.
Like for a crit.
But a hit on AC will still hit.
We just double check what your saving throw is.
Yeah, you can call and I'll put like a penalty based on the seriousness of the called shot. If you say you're going to put an arrow through somebody's eyeball versus, I'm going to aim for his neck, totally different. Like if you aim for his neck and you make that shot, then I'm probably going to allow a cut depending on the creature. May even lose a head. I think it really depends on how they're armed.
Initiative roll, I
How
rolled
they're armored.
14.
And you'd
Plus
add
your
your
dex.
Okay, so
Dexterity.
Plus 4, so 18.
So you got 18, and you got a 20 time.
Yes, sir. Not 20 plus 3, so 23.
23. Solandra?
8.
That was it?
That was it.
I mean, yes, good score.
Yeah, no.
If we were second edition, she'd be doing better than everyone. It's reversed. Like golf, D10 and the lowest, so it's the fastest to act kind of thing.
Oh, jeez Louise. Yeah, everybody is fairly surprised. Like, I'm rolling 2 for Braver, or 5 for Braver, 2 for the Fighter, and 2 for
Okay,
the Ranger.
so you add your proficiency.
And I rolled for the
Also
Ranger to pick
add
up 2, like,
modifiers, so
whether or not she
intelligence
picked up on it,
modifier.
and she seemed to miss, but you picked up, so it's very impressive given the
plus
Ranger's
6.
level.
Onto here.
Plus 6. So anytime you need to make that type of save, you add 6 to the.
So then wisdom plus proficiency is plus 4.
Yep.
Alright. Thank you, sir.
And they move in rapidly.
Skills.
So, we have Grond actually gets a first move. You see that ogre crash through the trees on the opposite side of the caravan from you are, and he's making a fast move on that necromancer.
Well,
Yep.
Gron, smash, twin battle axes.
Twin battle.
Yeah, twin battle axes, one in each hand.
Okay, that's awesome.
Because Gron's about to fuck shit up. Okay.
This one's Des and this one's Troy.
Yeah.
Alright. Calling shot, just trying to hit his head.
Okay.
Just trying to wedge the axe blade into his skull. 14 plus 5, so 19.
That is a hit.
No
Damage.
crit, but just hit.
Oh, there's crits in this game.
Yep.
Only 7 points of damage.
And as a matter of fact, speaking of critical rolls, if Captain Nemo, do your drafts, everybody watching in chat right now, if you want to win a set of dice, and I'll throw in some extra sack stuff for you, make your bet on who will roll the first critical hit of the evening. So whoever rolls the first d20 amongst this awesome clan of characters, if you guess it right, I will send you a nice little package. And yes, more than one person can win. There is more than one set of dice. And there's more than one set of sack stuff. So feel free to place your bets.
Swing number 2 with the left hand.
Okay.
15 plus 5, that is
That is a hit.
dirty 20.
Yeah, that is a hit.
7 plus 5, 12 points of damage this time.
Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah, the ogre Featherburg, he is nothing short of enraged.
Good.
Yeah, and he is actually, he looks shocked to see you. He looks absolutely shocked, was not expecting you to come out because he was coming from the other side and the wagon is 10 feet high. He didn't notice there was a half ogre as part of this little clan of members. So
8.5 feet tall.
yeah, he is a little bit shocked. And next, one of the other half orcs on the perimeter launches another arrow and he hits one of our guard friends. And he drops. Yeah, so one of these guys at the back here, yeah, he drops. And it looks like he's got an arrow protruding from his shoulder, and but he's not moving. You don't know whether he's dead or not. Up next, the ogre takes a swing at you. What's your AC?
16.
And misses. Which is good
Yes.
because the half a tree that he is carrying actually is a little bit intimidating even to you. And that sucker smash right down beside you, like putting a huge dent in the ground, sending chunks of earth flying.
Next attack is a called shot for its weapon. I'm going to chop that fucker into tiny bits. Or maybe.
That,
Yeah,
guard,
that too.
that guard back there, he runs. Yeah, that guy is running right back down the road.
How do I get paid enough for the?
Yeah. With that orc right after him, going, yeah, and that orc, which was equipped with a bow, you can see him slinging his bow across his back and pulling out a very dirty-looking blade, a crude sword at best, and he's headed after the guy, the weak one that ran. Brieger steps into action and heads towards that orc on the other side.
Oh, sorry, the other.
Brieger, yeah, that's the other guy. And yeah, runs in to meet him. So they'll meet just at the tree. So they're both running towards each other, and they meet at the tree. He swings and hits. That's a mace. 1d6, 1d8.
I think
it's 1d8. I think it's 1d8.
Maybe like 112-ish.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 1d8. And yeah, he lands a solid blow on that orc.
No, not quite.
The other orc moves in on the
1d6,
ranger. Yeah. Swings with, it looks
Oh,
like
sorry.
half an axe. It actually looks just a
So
jagged
mace is
square of
only
metal
1d6 damage?
pushed into a
Mace?
bit of thick stump and tied off. It's the crudest weapon you've ever seen, but it's going to do as an axe. And he swings at the ranger and actually strikes her in the shoulder,
Yeah,
and she takes a bit of a
I
hit.
just thought that would do more damage.
Giant two-handed mace. So
Okay, so size is bigger is better.
If the attack doesn't kill him, the tetanus will.
The other orc coming in from the side. He's not actually going to come in. He's equipped with a bow and he's firing off an arrow. The fighter, yeah, and misses. And that arrow. Oh, who's behind him? The ranger.
Ranger.
And it narrowly misses the ranger, pounding
Firing into melee.
right into the second caravan there. And we have, I think that's, yeah, so the other guard, and that guard, yeah, they'll move up and move in, not away from the, not towards the ogre, not a chance. So that guy is going to move up. No, that guy is dealing with that.
Okay.
Perfect. And he is going to, and actually hits. So that guard actually manages to prove himself fully functional. Swing with a long sword. And yeah, he lands a pretty decent blow on that orc. And we are top of the pop. Yeah, so he just moved up and he's holding action that last guard there. You can see in his eyes, he's scared. That ogre being in close proximity and you two scrapping it out, he's just losing his mind right now, trying to seek cover. And you can still hear the merchant screaming from the front there. So we got another round of initiative.
Oh, I didn't
Do I
know.
didn't.
Oh, you didn't go? Oh my goodness. All that action and you didn't go.
So I'm gonna move up to here and take a shot at this guy.
Okay. Yeah, and you're still on the top of the caravan.
9. Am I to that?
Plus your dex plus 2.
Dex is +4.
So plus 6 in total, so 15 AC.
You got 15 total?
Yeah.
Yeah, you hit.
Okay.
What were you swinging with?
It's my crossbow.
At that orc that's firing shots, yeah.
6
Plus,
plus
oh no, do you do
Is
dex
it
on a crossbow?
Yeah.
Okay.
be 10.
Nice.
Damage?
Damn.
Yeah. He didn't notice you before, but he notices you now. And yeah, he turns and sees you, snarls, and pulls another. These are greasy looking arrows too. Like, you do not want to get pierced with these things, you can tell. And he knocks another arrow to his bow.
You don't want to get
With
poked by
my
that head.
18, what happens? Do I act or anything?
Oh, you can act, yeah. What are you going to do?
Sorry, the ranger did what? Got
Yeah, the
attacked.
ranger just got attacked, and she took a hit in the shoulder.
I'm going to try and help the ranger.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Ogre can handle the ogre, I trust.
Half ogre?
Hoping.
Half ogre.
Yeah.
I'm going to, oh god, these aren't the right spells for this, so I'll chain sickle.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, you
You're
can
gonna try a physical
shoot
attack?
your chill blast or whatever.
Chill touch?
Or chill touch from a
Yep.
from a range.
Oh,
Because it creates a skeletal hand out of nothing and just kind of blah.
Yeah, so then I don't have to go so close, that's smart. And try a chill touch.
Okay.
That's a die. D20.
Yeah,
think
I
that's
have
just
to
save
save.
versus-
Yeah. Save versus what then?
His intelligence modifier plus 2, and then plus 8.
Yes, because
Is
your
that right?
proficiency
Your
plus
proficiency plus your plus 8.
So my
So
intelligence
the 8
bonus
plus
is
6.
4, plus proficiency 2, plus 8, so 14.
14? Okay, yeah, he's saved.
So there's still going to be an effect, though, isn't it?
I think there is, like, for chill touch. We'll look that up again. Or, yeah, chill touch.
2, 10, right?
There we go.
On
So I mean, 120 feet is great. But yeah, 1d8 necrotic damage. It doesn't say save for half. Yeah, it doesn't give any indication.
I guess just if it doesn't hit. If you hit,
But you know what? I'm gonna apply save for half. That just makes sense to me. So we're gonna save for half, and you definitely notice you've gotten his attention, but he kind of looks, wasn't sure what touched him. Gets this like ghostly little hand on him, but he doesn't. His focus is pretty hard on that ranger.
So roll 1d8 and we cut her in half.
2.
One.
Sorry.
It's okay. That happens.
how far away is that orc chasing that guy?
Well, he's a good 40 feet from the end of the caravan now,
Dang, I guess it's in zone.
and he's screaming. He's still like, "Ah."
Can I do a sick front flip jump to get to this guy?
Sure. Roll me an acrobatics.
Bam.
Full gainer off
Don't
the.
fumble this.
Try not to. 9.
Okay, so you land a little shakily, but you land. Yeah, wasn't quite that solid point landing. that
Yeah, I
you
was
were
like,
looking for. Yeah, and you're a little shaky on your feet, so it just takes you a moment to regain your balance, but you're otherwise fine. You can still
super
act.
efficiency.
Can I like go to flank this guy like from the guard?
Yep.
All right.
So what's your movement?
30.
Yeah.
Cool. Do I get any?
Probably 30 for you as well.
So flanking bonus would be usually what, +1?
For this one, it's just like advantage or just.
Yeah,
okay,
just get to roll
that's
that
not bad.
advantage.
All right, yeah. So she's going to, after fumbling from her thing, just quickly pull out her sword, and swipe at the guy.
What was your initiative last round?
19.
19.
So that would be 15. Yep, 15 to hit.
That definitely hits.
Sweet. So yeah, when she pulls out her sweet ninja-looking sword, swipes at the orc.
Katana or Wakizashi?
Ninja.
4 damage? What's your plus bonus?
4 plus 3, so 7.
I like the Natashi idea though.
giant
Horse sword.
Yeah, you. I'm gonna get all of you to roll a perception check.
Ooh.
Actually, no, you don't need to. And yeah, but you 3 definitely perception check.
And then
16.
whenever I get a moment too.
You see tiny little eyes and what looks like you're pretty familiar with goblins. You see a couple tiny eyes off to the side beyond the road, and it looks like they've lit flaming arrows and are preparing to launch
here?
those. Yep, they're preparing to launch them at the caravan.
I rolled a 15 plus whatever.
Ooh, just before we get too far away from me.
Yep.
Since I'm a monk,
Mhm.
and I just smack this guy with the sword, I'm going to also do a little side kick onto the
Oh yeah,
sword's
you can
key.
add melee to that.
Yeah, there's martial arts. I get to do one unarmed strike.
Yeah, sure.
After. So. 2. 19.
19.
So.
That's gonna do it.
So with her swift slash and a deft kick right to this orc's knee, does plus 6 damage.
6 damage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you literally hear a snap, and you're not sure what you cracked, but it definitely got his attention. He howls in pain, and it looks like you can't be sure whether he's going to turn or whether he's going to try and make a last attack here. And new round.
Yeah.
I think we're at a new round of
So
initiative.
we roll new initiative every round, right?
Well, we're going to take the same initiative and just go from the top, and just do it that way. That saves everybody just re-rolling down there. So, unfortunately, the only people I didn't roll for are the goblins. Okay, so top of the order is ogre, half ogre.
Dang it. Okay, we'll figure that out later. Just trying to remember. Fighters do some funky stuff. Okay. both axes right down, just trying to onto his head.
Oh, wow.
2 separate attack rolls, I'm fine, whatever.
Okay.
But just trying to flav. Boom! 14.
Okay. That is 14 plus what? You have bonus?
Yeah, 19 attack.
Yeah, you definitely.
11 damage. And come on, dice.
Yeah, the order's. You hear him howl.
Don't you screw me. 14.
14 is still a hit.
Really?
That's a big guy. Is still a hit. He is a big object.
6.
What was it?
6 damage.
6 damage. Okay.
And
Ah.
don't you forget it work.
You've actually done some significant damage, and you can sense it. Like you've got his attention. Now, unfortunately, what you
It's
hear
his
is, and all of a sudden, flaming arrows strike every single one of those caravans. Yeah, you counted 6 arrows total that are now the satellite, even the one with the silk. The one that's burning at the front, you can hear the merchant screaming from inside, and now he's panicking even more because the thing is on fire. He's like, "Put me out!" He's like, "Save me!" But he hasn't exited though. I mean, the caverns, they literally just got hit with flaming arrows. So
Grond is like, why are you trying to burn what you're stealing? Are you stupid?
and before Grond 17 hit.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and actually he opts, instead of the club, he opts for a full-on, you already had his arm kind of up at one moment, and he just full-on hammers you with a fist.
You want Jersey pull?
Yeah, Jersey pull, and you take 7 points of damage. Yeah,
At least it's not like a cutting wound or anything. It should be good.
until he pulls his fist back, and you notice that he has this brilliant set of knuckle dusters on the end of it, which would explain why you could have sworn you heard a little bit of crackage there. But yeah, he hits you. So we are up to Gron went, Ogre went. Who is next?
You're gonna have to take a
18.
second wind here.
Was that? Oh, that's you.
Yes.
I had it at 19, by the way.
Did you? Why did I have you down as?
It was 14 plus 5.
Sorry, buddy.
That's yeah.
For
So
me,
I had you down. Oh, that's why I had it looking like a 4.
Oh.
I had the 9 looking like a 4.
No worries.
So
three
it
dresses.
is your go. Yeah.
Okay.
This orc looks like he's gonna stick around. He's
Yeah. After the orcs, big angry yell, the sword is coming. Ooh.
What'd you
Oh,
get?
I know I got that hit on that one. It'd be 24 to hit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely it.
Yeah. So.
How are you hitting?
Yeah. So she stabs, does a quick thrust with the ninjato, and does 8 damage.
The orc's somewhat shocked. He goes to yell, and your sword pokes right out the back of his head. The guard looks at you, and you can tell gratitude, big time gratitude in his eyes, and he actually makes his way up.
Can she say something like, put out the fires?
Yeah, that might be a good idea. He's like, he nods his agreement, and he's frantically looking around. He's going towards the second caravan where he knows the water is stored. There's some casks of water in there.
Can I still move?
Yeah, it's kind of like a little kitchen galley inside that wagon.
Oh, I love advantage against this dude.
Yeah, she's gonna run up the side of the ogre guy here.
Okay. Oh man, anime style. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, so that's fine. And that ogre is dropped. We are at Necromancy.
So the ranger's hurt, needs help. I missed with my one.
Yeah, your chill touch just did not have as profound an effect as you had hoped.
Now, the caravan's important prestidigitation Would that be?
Prestidigitation.
Yes. So there was a lighting and putting out a candle. The caravans are bigger than candles, so I don't think that's pretty useless.
Yeah, you know it will be useless against the flames that are now rising off the top of these caravans.
Okay. There's casks of water in here.
There is everything, including casks of oil, in there.
Oil.
It's about time.
I'd say they carried all their kitchen goods and everything else in that caravan.
Yeah, that's explosive.
Damn.
Let's chain sickle this orc.
That'll work. Roll it. And that is a swing and a miss.
I guess it's not flanking, is it?
But he doesn't actually seem too concerned with you right now. That ranger has just got a seething hatred for that ranger. We
She's
are at
special.
Necro, Kite's gone, Gron's gone. We are at these guys all got like terrible rolls, FYI, like including Breaker and everybody else. So the ranger is actually going to get an attack. Oh man. Okay, so the ranger slips. There's some wet ground underfoot. She goes to swing. She pulls out her longsword. She slung her bow. She pulls out her longsword, swings, and heels go right out from under her, leaving her in a bad situation. Now, normally, the orc probably would have taken a swing, but the necromancer and the fact that he's got another standing dude in front of him has seemed to have maintained his attention not enough that he is not making a prone attempt.
We had a good downpour this morning.
Yep.
Are the wagons wet enough that these fire arrows won't take hold for a while?
Nope.
Damn. Okay.
They're already on fire.
Yeah.
I was just hoping that maybe it would have been slow. That's
No, it was a light misty rain earlier, so it wasn't anything that it wasn't soaking.
Prevented the canvas from
It's burning, slower. They're not, woof, they're not going up, but they're definitely. I mean, half of them have burned off by
the
this point.
canvas.
Yeah, half of them burned off. They're starting to expose the inside. Fortunately for you, the center wagon there is not catching as fire, but the other two, you can see that the actual wood is starting to catch fire, and now the Corbin in the front has leaped out of the back and is kind of hiding under the back. We can add another mini for Corbin just behind the first. Yeah, you can
the
even
ghoul.
use. Yeah, the ghoul is fine. Because he's a bit of a ghoul. He's actually crawled under the first wagon, even though it's on fire. He's seeing the orcs, seeing the ogres, and he has literally shit his britches.
Even Grund not dumb enough to climb on the burning wagon.
Yeah. So that's good. Okay, so we are orc number 1 up in the top there, launching arrows. 17 at you.
Does the
My armor class is
Is
Ooh, that's
15?
a hit.
Yeah, that's a hit. 2 points of damage.
That's not bad.
You got lucky.
dealable.
Yeah.
Is there who's an arrow? So
Second ogre attacking the necromancer. 17 hit you.
so armor class 14.
yes, that is.
And that is 4 points of damage.
I forget it's meter bead, right? Or is it
Yeah, meter beat.
okay?
Yeah.
So if he rolls 14 or higher to hit you, then that would hit you.
Meter beat.
All right.
Don't switch those two around.
And that was the orc on him. Now the orc chasing after the other guy. He makes it up to that guy. And unfortunately,
Sorry.
this one.
he
Good
makes it
one.
up to that guard. He slashes the guard. The guard collapses to the ground, but is still alive and scrambling to get away. And you can see that this orc is gonna make a mess of that guy.
Okay.
Yeah, anybody looking? Nobody's really looking. You don't even notice that guy is going to get hammered again. And on this side of the fence, there we go, just behind that tree, that is an 18. Who is there?
That is
Breeder.
Breeder.
And unfortunately, Breeder, that is a hit for you too.
It's just a flesh wound.
Yep. Well, that's not a flesh wound, actually. He took a fairly sizable impact to the chest.
It's blunt force trauma wound.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And the other fighter is making a mad dash now towards that orc with the arrows. After seeing him do and he gets up there, swings and misses on his first attack.
Swings and miss.
And yeah, Corbin's still panicking, and that is, I think we're missing somebody. What are we missing here?
You've taken your attack.
No, just I mean out of the orcs. 3, 4. No, I guess we did get them all. That is your go.
So the one guy did die.
I'm going to shoot an arrow at this guy again.
Okay.
Ah, 3 plus
That plus
4.
plus 4. Yeah, that unfortunately goes
3 plus
So
3
4
plus
plus
2.
Oh, so
You're
9.
done. Yes.
Yeah, that still misses. So yeah, those two are engaged there.
But wait, before she's done, you could still move, right?
Yep.
I mean, just an option if you want. She could
Close the
like
gap.
take either that, or if she's doing range, she could take cover under the thing, right?
Yeah, she's not at risk for being attacked or anything.
I was kind of back and around behind the.
Yeah, like if you wanted to be like make it harder for the guy to shoot at you, you
Yeah.
just be like
Okay.
ideas.
Yeah. You can add. We're gonna bring up 6 more minis, and the goblins have.
We've got the goblins.
The goblins have made an appearance now. There's 2 of them up near that fighter there. There's 2 coming up behind the ogre over here, and there's 2 on the other side, spread between the cleric, and 1 heading in right here. So there's 1 between these 3 and 1 between. Yep. Perfect.
Well, they're ghouls to go with these goblins. Ghouls and goblins.
But we'd need ghosts too. And then we'd have the hardest video game in history.
Ghouls and goblins?
Ghosts and goblins.
Ghosts and goblins,
Yeah, it's
The game is mind-numbingly challenging.
yes. I just showed my boys that about a year ago. And you're running around and you just got a weapon. You throw. Oh,
Different types of weapons show up.
yeah. It's the worst. There should only be 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep,
6.
2 up
Three
there.
one of them.
2 by the ogre here, and then there's 2 on this side.
2 by the over here?
Yeah, got these 2 here. Oh, sorry. And then 2 up here.
Okay. This guy over here, he used his action to try and get away, so you can put him a little further ahead. He managed to get just
Oh,
ahead.
sorry.
Yeah, that guy. Just managed to get out of the way of being attacked, but he's still on the ground and trying to get away in a hurry. And we are fighter swing and a miss. That was last turn. This turn swings and definitely hits. Really shitty damage. So he just manages to nick that orc up there. Yeah,
Yo, Nick, bitch.
however, that orc does not look in the greatest of shape. And he's definitely taking hits, but the 2 goblins that are flanking him now are going to be a problem. We have the ranger who has slipped. That is unfortunate. We're going to go top the pop, and I'm going to get, unfortunately, everybody is going to get to go, but the 16 is where I'm going to put the goblins as a group. So we're back to the top of the order, and you get to go first.
Kron's gonna call shot for his nutsack.
Oh wow!
It's AC of 16.
You'd have flanking on this guy too, right?
Oh, advantage. Right. Come on, you can do this. Do this for me, dice. No. So I'll take the 16.
And it hits. And it hits square.
13.
13?
13.
13 damage?
Square
13
dollars.
damage.
Wow. Okay.
It's the biggest damage.
So you've heard the ogre howl once. And this time it's a little bit different. You definitely shook something up there.
If the tone is a bit higher
His
pitched.
tone's a lot higher pitched, and he just, yeah.
I actually speak ogre, so I might threaten him a little bit here in a second. And my second attack, the second axe, you know what? Second axe is just going to try and go for his head, just to try and take that
Okay,
fucker
so
clean
because
off.
you were aiming low for his nuts with the one attack, and now you're aiming high, I'm going to put you at a slight disadvantage.
So I
just
lose
slight
advantage.
disadvantage,
So
yeah.
just
Just a straight shot.
18 plus 5 ought to do.
Roll damage.
7 plus 5. Bang, 12.
Yeah, you literally
25 points in one
and the head splits off the side. Now the problem is the proximity. I'm going to get you to move him a little bit closer to the caravan. This is where your fight took you. A little bit in close there. We shall see.
And I'm also going to do my second wind because I'm going to need this.
Okay.
I regain 11 hit points.
Okay.
Well, I'm up to max again.
That's usable as an action at the end of the round.
It's usable during any round. It's the second wind.
Okay.
So I only get it once between long
And
rests.
yeah, and then you get rest, right?
Yeah, that's good to know.
Okay, so
Well, that's only for fighters.
Yes.
so the ogre is actually, with his head split, starts to stagger over and collapses right on that covered wagon, which is filled with casks of oil and water.
Don't get
And
those in there.
yeah, that actually erupts into a massive conflagration in the center of the
Saving throw
caravan.
versus fiery death.
Yeah, so I'm going to need a dex check out of everybody who is within 10 feet of that thing. I'm going to roll for the one guy. Yeah, you're fine.
8.
You want
Plus dexterity 4, so 15.
15, okay, yep, 14 or better, and you're fine. No?
No,
Okay.
I'm not plus 11.
You actually take 3 points of damage as the flames billow out from this thing. The oil
Okay.
mixes with the water, the casks break on the ground, and this fire is like instantly roaring.
Now, would his second wind come at the end of the turn?
Well, technically, I suppose.
So his second wind, you actually had more points left?
Yeah, I was down 8, so I took the 3.
Yeah, and
So
second
it'd
wind
be-
just gives you temporary hit points, right?
No, second wind basically it gives you recoup that value of hit points. Your fighter level plus 1d10.
About the dirty blade description. Oh, that's awesome.
uses tetanus strike?
Yeah, you know, looking at these weapons, I mean, they're not the thing you would want to be cut with.
You generally don't want to get cut, anyways, but you especially don't want.
Yeah, and you have heard rumors that goblins have a tendency to smear their own feces on a weapon.
Yep.
To cause disease in the people they attack. They are grubby little buggers.
So you regain hit points equal to 1d10 plus your level.
I don't
Once
think
you
you'd
use
actually-
this, you must finish a short or long rest.
I don't think you'd be actually able to use it because you used your bonus for your second.
I don't use bonus. The 2-weapon is just one hand in one hand. Oh,
Because you're
It still counts as 2 actions, though, right? If you use 2 weapons like that.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
2-weapon fighting is you attack with your main action as a bonus action you swing.
okay. So then I wouldn't be able to regain that. So then
Not on this turn, no.
So
If
then
you
I'm
wanna
at,
do-
I'm at 11 points down. And then next turn I'll do that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that guy there is on fire. The guy at the back of the second caravan, the gray guy, yes, he is on fire.
So put me out.
Yeah, and he's basically like, the side of his cloak is on fire, and he's trying to put himself out. He is combat ineffective for this next round.
Fire, fire,
Yeah,
fire.
and we are Grant, Ogre's dead, Necromancer.
I thought that too good.
Nope. He's the
Oh
next
yeah,
one
that's
to
right.
go.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm looking at Kite with a 14.
It's okay. How close is that goblin to me?
Not close enough for you to reach it and engage.
But is it close enough for me to not go up to it?
Yep.
Okay, where's...
It will reach you next round.
I'm gonna go find who's the merchant guy.
Corbin.
This one.
Corbin.
That
yeah.
guy.
Underneath.
Okay, well I can't help him then. I was gonna go try and put him out, but actually, you know what?
You haven't seen Corbin since that caravan exploded.
He's hiding.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's seen him. If you guys are looking for him, you can roll perception check.
No, she sees this guy on fire, so she's gonna run up to him and
Merchant's the one paying us.
Theoretically.
Theoretically, yeah.
If he's alive.
she's gonna try and put out the flames on the fighter guy.
Okay. Yeah, you put out the flames easy enough. They're not outrageous. You drop them down to the ground, and yeah, you put them out. But now you're both occupied.
Mhm.
And now it's the Necromancer.
Saved his life. Okay, so
No, monk hero.
I'm engaged because the ranger slipped.
Yep.
Okay. To disengage, that's a penalty for any
Chris,
spellcast
what
I
did you
do.
So, well, no, I think you can disengage.
Very possible.
Yeah, you can disengage and cast a spell as long as the spell doesn't require a whole bunch of. If it's only a 1 minute casting thing, then I'm gonna let you rip. I'll let you fire it off as long as it's fairly instant.
Alright, so the cantrips you can recast as many times as you can, so I would disengage.
That's an action though.
Yep.
If you disengage.
Oh, that's a full action?
Yep.
Okay.
But it prevents you from being attacked as
Mhm.
if you were prone.
You can still move after that.
This guy hasn't been touched yet, because the ranger biffed twice.
Yep. Well, she biffed once, and she's using an action to get back up.
So I should disengage.
And you can still like move however far away you want after that without getting swung at.
Move on the
so
other
the
side of the
ogre
hill, still
is
coming.
that's I got my buddy the ogre coming this way.
Yeah, keep in mind, okay, so moving where you are right now, not going to happen. There is
Because
a
there's still
giant
flames, so
fire
it
right
has to go
there.
this
Yep.
way.
Like, if the fire could be described, the radius of that coffee cup is about how big that fire is. Yeah.
The ranger seems pretty important. If I may, I'm just going to try and chain sickle again.
Yep, no problem.
I don't want the ranger to die.
For your attack.
10 plus, what am I doing? Dexterity?
Dexterity plus
4.
proficiency.
Plus, so 16.
That is a hit. Your chain sickle finds purchase on that guy's body.
What is it, D6 or D4?
D6 for chain sickle.
You got weight too. Oh.
5
plus nothing.
Plus
Dex.
dexterity.
4.
So 4.
Nice.
So 9 total. Is there an attack bonus to that?
No,
that's
that's your dex though.
Okay, so that changed.
So the attack bonus is what you're going to add to hit.
Mhm.
Then after you hit them, it would just be your dex for the extra damage.
Oh,
So whatever
your
you
dex
roll
bonus.
plus minimum your dex.
I think that's how it works.
You'll get used to these numbers
Yes.
the more you do it, so
Okay.
it just turns into like you roll your thing, you're like, yeah, I just got this. Math magic.
Okay, you see, Calandra sees that fighter take a hit to the hammy. The one goblin walks right up and just like drags a sword, a really shitty looking sword, across the back boot part of this fighter. Yeah, and actually does some damage. You can see the fighter kind of stagger, but he's maintaining.
Sorry.
Lewd, crude, and now partially nude.
Yeah. Yikes. Okay. And over there, the people that I can't see, that orc takes a swing at Rieger and actually lands a hit.
Six?
Yep.
Ringer's the cleric. We need to keep that one alive because we need to live.
And also, we were partying with these guys for a couple days now. Sucked to see them get
Yeah.
stabified and crispified.
Okay, that goblin over there fires an arrow at. Yeah, who is that?
That's me.
That's you.
Okay.
Fires an arrow at you. 18.
Oh, that hits.
How many hit points you got?
10.
You have 4 now.
Oof.
Ouch! Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good arrow.
Yeah, it went out, fortunately, as soon as it hit. Yes, flaming. And the other goblin fires a shot in, and it sails clear over and buries itself in the shrubbery on the other side.
Oh, good. So we're going to be in a brush fire.
Yeah,
Gauge.
everything's fairly moist. There's no real risk of the woods going up at this point. Yeah, everything's fairly lush and green. But, there's undergrowth, so, never know. And who else we got here? This orc. Okay, so that guy is dead. Guaranteed.
I have died.
And that orc turns, snarls, and he's marching back that way. So he will actually get a half distance move up towards the caravan, and he's heading straight for that guard. Yeah, that's good right there. Yeah, perfect. And one more goblin. And that's the guy on the other fighter over there. Yeah, and he swings and misses. We're back to the top of the order. It is Ron's turn.
Is there a good time?
Oh, why do I keep forgetting you? I don't know why I keep forgetting this. Yeah, it's because you got 8
I
for
did get
yeah.
I mean,
So I'm gonna shoot at this little guy here.
Okay.
So pop and shoot.
13 plus
Oh,
6.
that'll be
19.
Yeah, it's a hit for sure. Yeah, no damage.
Plus dex.
For
6.
Oh yeah, he drops. Drop that little goblin. Okay, so
Headshots.
yeah, and the ogre doesn't even get an attack. We are at
Top of the morning to you.
yeah. Kite is good. I think you're the last one. Yep. So we're now top of the order.
Action surge. Or sorry, I'm going to use my healing surge to heal those 11.
Okay.
Now I'm back at something valuable, and run over to this guy, and I'm just wondering, do I physically just brawl, attack, kind of smash him, or do I'll hit the
That
ass.
goblin?
Yeah.
That is literally Andre the Giant attacking a midget. That is the
Exactly.
equivalent, yeah.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Just steamroll the shit out of him.
No,
This time I'm gonna kick that football clear of the moon.
yeah.
Pick 'em up and
Try- Or you're gonna boot
Well, I
him.
do get athletics. I think I get advantage on athletics too. So
It's a boot. Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
It's still gonna be a fairly. I mean, if you get an attack and you're gonna boot him, I'll just count it as a regular attack. It's small enough that if you succeed,
2 and 3. No, I miss, and he deftly dodges.
you
out
go
of the
to
way.
punt him through the uprights, and your foot just goes whoop, misses. But fortunately, no fumble.
No Lucy to pull the gauntlet.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he moves and just dodges out of the way, and you miss him. So yeah, now we are at Kite.
She's gonna turn at that goblin that shot him, or shot her, and just point her sword at the goblin.
Yep.
And
Zip
rush
right
right
over.
up to him.
Go.
And roll a natural 1.
Oh no!
Okay.
How slippery is this
Yeah,
floor?
I
give me
might
a
have to
second
pick
here.
up a goblin and use him to beat another goblin.
This is a
Okay.
distinct possibility.
You don't lose your weapon, but you do hit the ground. Yeah, your foot goes out from under you. The ground's a little bit moist here, mossy, grassy, and unfortunately that leaves you in an awfully vulnerable position.
Sure does.
But he stabs at you, and it just sticks into the ground right beside you.
She like deflected with her sword.
Yep. And Necromancer.
Yeah.
Necromancer. Oh, we forgot about the ranger getting up or anything.
She's
She
been trying to
missed?
get up.
She
Yeah,
tried,
She's been
okay.
trying to get up and has failed.
Okay.
She also took some heat from that initial blast when the ogre hit. So
Was
Bit
the
of
heat of
charm.
the moment.
It's probably tough to charm an ogre. I have false life and charm person as level 1 spells.
yeah, you would need Charm Monster.
Charm on. Nope. Okay. Chill touch was a distance shot, not an up close.
Yeah, you basically generate a ghostly hand, and I think it is touch though. Is it
Well, the
not?
hand has to touch, so the hand might actually be.
Yeah,
an
chill
attack.
touch actually is 120 feet range, so you can definitely fire that across.
Let's try a chill touch, just because the chain sickle's not really doing much.
Sure, yeah, that was DC 14.
Yeah.
And he fails. What damage?
Now, what's damage?
D8.
Do it. 8.
4 points of damage.
But good.
Actually, who are you aiming at? Yeah, he drops.
A ghostly hand goes right
Yeah, the chill. You just see his neck turn blue and frosty, and these like fingerprints grip into
Should've
the
just
neck,
done your natural
and he just
attack.
goes blue and drops.
For the necrotic, and then you would absorb some of those hit points too.
Ooh, I could have absorbed.
Yep, too
Next
late
time.
now.
That was, sorry,
Which
which
is
attack did you say?
Like the what is it? Chill?
Life-
No, not the life.
stealing.
The life stealing. Your
Oh,
just your
false
basic
life.
ability. No, your
No.
basic
I'm
ability.
gonna get you guys to
Spell
take the corpses off of this thing, just so we can see who's left here.
He's dead.
No,
He's
life
dead.
tap.
That's it.
Oh,
So you can Shang Tsung the guy.
Yeah,
He's
yes, you're
dead?
right.
Yeah, and keep them all
You'll
piled
solve
over
this
the
guy-
thing.
that guy was-
He wasn't dead?
No, he was on fire. Now
Yeah.
This guy
now
was
he's
dead.
And you can stand him back up. He gets no attack this round, but you can stand him back up.
That's
Beauty. That's the pile.
and this one too, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And woohoo! Ranger finally stands on her feet.
There's no one here.
Yeah, there's nobody there, but she dusts herself off and prepares to. She starts drawing her bow, sheaths her sword.
Well, it's a pretty heavy forest. I think welcome to the jungle network. Too.
Okay. This orc actually closes the gap between him and that guard, and he swings and definitely lands a hit. No, just barely grazing him. That's good.
Survive.
And we got over there another orc on that fighter, and that's a bunch of shitty for your fighter. He takes a fairly sizable blow from that orc. The goblin misses.
That was closest.
Over there, that goblin misses, and we have one more.
This
Shooting
is the
arrows.
goblin.
Yeah. And that guy fires an arrow on. Is that Kite over here?
This is someone else who.
That
was
would have
with
had to
us.
have been one of the guards then. That's
Okay.
like just a standard guard. And the other guy was the charred guy. Yeah, so these two guys both are guards.
Okay.
There was a full contingent of guards there. So that first guard, the one that's holding the grayer one, the lighter gray one. Yeah, I guess grayer. Light gray one. I think one's lighter. The one with the cloak, not the other one.
No, this one.
This one?
Later.
Oh, lighter gray. So
Yeah. So takes a flaming arrow to the chest and howls in pain and basically like drops down to the ground, but is not dead. And that other guard actually moves up to close the gap between that goblin. Yeah. So he will not be getting another arrow off. Brieger swings and hits, drops that for sure. It's 4 plus 6. Definitely drops that. Yeah. And
let the bodies hit the floor.
okay, the fighter finally gets connect to that, and he's decided to take it out on that goblin.
The goblin?
Yeah, and he hammers him for cattywampus. That goblin drops. Yeah, he's actually still got an arrow flaming, sticking out the top. Apparently, he had forgot to put out one of the arrows in his backpack and is now, or in his quiver, and is now alight. Fumble suck, right? We are now at the top of the order. No, yeah, Ranger's just gotten up, so she can go next turn. You are up. Sorry.
I'll shoot at this guy again.
It's because you're buried behind that tree. I literally can't. Oh no, you're in
I'm
front
right
of me.
here.
She's hiding behind the caravan.
18
Ooh, that's good.
That's
That'll hit.
definitely it.
and 9.
9 points of damage.
Ooh,
Drops
that's
him.
close, yeah.
Drops him. The fighter looks over and he's like, gives you a nod, and then limps and then begins limping back. You don't bother moving him this round, but you'll get a chance to move after that. And you were 8. Your last one. Back to the top of the order. Gron.
Axe on this little numbnuts.
Okay, you guys see that the wagon that's covered that is full of silk is just it's fire. It is solid fire.
Silk was this one.
Yeah,
So 16 to hit the goblin.
that's a hit.
7 points of damage.
Yeah, you kill him.
Okay.
Seems
Let's
like
hope this one works
goblins
well.
are 6 and under. Okay.
I really apologize if this doesn't work so well. Please dice. Please dice. I'm gonna turn around like I hit him with the first one, and I'm gonna kind of spin and do a half turn and throw my battle axe at this little bastard right there.
I'm not just going to require it to hit. I'm going to require a dex check in the middle of that move.
Let's throw down. Go for it. Okay. Dex check of 7 7.
Well, no, your first attack is an attack, right?
Yeah, well, the first attack I hit. I
Okay.
already killed that one.
And then
This
your
is my
check
dex
fell?
check.
Okay, you tried
So
to get
7.
fancy with it, so now you can roll your attack at disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Alright. Double 20s. Double 20s. Let's be a crit here. 9 and 8, so it's a 13.
Yeah, you were attacking who? That goblin?
Yes.
That's a solid hit.
Nice.
Yes!
Good
Score! And 10 damage.
You drop him like a sack of
That's
hammers.
Didn't look as cool as I wanted it to, but it worked.
Now, Dad,
It's just like-
Dad,
She thinks it looks cool. Even with the slip made it look cooler.
you see that guard drop that goblin? Yeah, that one. The other one, he's fleeing, and he literally turns and he's bolting.
Run away.
Yeah, and you see him disappear into a thicket of undergrowth. You can try and chase him if you want. He is literally, I think, the last. That was the last one.
Nope.
No, we have
Oh
one
yeah,
more
one
orc.
orc. Yeah, well, he's a little shaky right now. He senses he's about to lose the battle, but he's still going to take one final shot at that guard. He swings and he misses, but he does not have an opportunity to disengage.
19. Alright. Am I going to be able to make it up to this this orc after getting up there?
Yeah, where are you? You're there? Yeah, 100%.
Just gonna run
You
up.
can flank him.
Yeah, run up beside this guy.
Roll with advantage.
Bam.
Yeah!
Did anybody bet on that? 20?
Who's betting on the monk?
Yeah, stop, drop, and roll, my guy. We got bets going.
Because Kite is.
Okay, if anybody betted on Kite, you gotta let us know in a follow-up message. If anybody betted on Kite, you just won yourself some Take20 gear.
Okay, so.
Fresh set of dice.
So Captain Emo.
Captain Emo did? Nice.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
6 damage. 12 damage.
Well, no, so for this one, you just roll your damage dice twice.
Oh.
For 5. So that'd be 8 plus. I'll just close this thing. Plus 3, so.
I wish I did, but I picked the DM.
Yeah.
11 points of damage?
11, thank you.
Yeah.
Math.
Yeah, he drops. You literally slice and dice, and he drops. Now that the chaos has stopped, there's a little bit of a moment of silence as everybody just contemplates the damage. All 3 caravans have burned to the ground, and you see the half-torched corpse of your merchant at the just behind and underneath the front of the burning wagon, the first wagon. Brigger comes by and goes in. He walks up and slaps Kalindra on the shoulder and says, "Nothing like a battle to test the true mettle of a warrior, eh?" And he chuckles and walks over to his fighter friend to see how he is.
We said the front body was charred to a burnt crisp,
Yeah, the wagon collapsed on top of it.
so nothing to look through pockets or anything. Okay.
That's what
Wine left in the pocket?
I
you
might be
can
a little
check.
hot right now, but yeah.
Well,
You can check. Unfortunately, you know that most of his stuff was stashed. Most of his personal belongings were stashed in that wagon.
In that burning wagon.
Yeah. So and it's kind of still burning. So are you gonna put fires out and
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll put fires out and then
okay with what?
branches.
Yeah, Grond will go to the
That's what
closest
fire
tree
eats.
to really wet branches
They're
and
wet.
leaves, and I'm gonna just
Right.
hammer this thing down as quick as I can, and I'm gonna try
You're
and
gonna
use the wet
fan?
leaves.
Things.
No, I'm gonna hit it with
That's
the
the
wet
other thing
leaves.
fire eats.
Smash.
Okay, so you basically grab a good quarter piece of tree, a fairly young tree with lots of fresh leaves on it, and in a smoky, cindery mess, you proceed to somewhat clumsily, try and put out the fires that are still going. Everybody else kind of rallies and gathers. You can move everybody in fairly close to those caravan. Everybody moves in and tries to put out the fire and save what they can. Unfortunately, most of the caravan has been destroyed, and the silk, most of them have been ruined. You managed to save one silk tapestry from the end that looks like it may still be saleable, and there is nothing left of the other 2. So searching corpses.
Kite's just gonna not search corpses, but like kind of collapse into the back of a rock there and take a breather, but also like say a little silent prayer for the fallen carnage.
Okay. So the fighter and the cleric are working to. The cleric's going around trying to heal wounds. He's stopping around to you guys, asking if you need healing.
I need healing.
There's other than
Kite,
anyone.
yeah, just kind of looking worse for wear.
Okay.
Oh yeah, half dead.
You're half dead.
-4 from 10.
Oh yeah. So you still definitely took a hit. You can give yourself 3 points back.
I think
Kite. Yeah.
Kite took like 6 points of damage.
Kite, you can restore 5 points.
Sweet.
And the fighter is also, looks like he's healed back to normal. So he's got a bit of a scar, light scar visible on the back where the goblin almost hammied him. But other than that, he's fairly okay. You're okay? You took a bit of a...
I took a bit, but I did
Took
my,
around to
my
heal.
Yeah,
You look up and there's like a nice
fist size, like a big ass fist size bruise starting to form on your ribcage already.
dirty fucking ogres.
Yeah.
Can't believe those pricks still try this shit.
That's the first attack. Like Brigger's like, that's the first attack we've had. And an odd band. It's not common for goblins to be hanging out with orcs. I mean, not in a fighting party. So it's like he's trying to wrap his head around what is going on here.
Could be me think. Sometimes ogres try and bully smaller races.
He's like, yes, but this scene we're very coordinated. It's like usually they're scattered, but it's like they were waiting anyway. He thinks, and he's contemplating while he's going around and tending to a few of the other persons. He's going over and he's healing that guard, and he's kind of wandering around. Are you guys going to do party treasure, or are you going to do? And what are you searching? There's bodies
Searching for any coinage, for any jewels.
on just the orcs, the goblins, and the ogre, or as
I'll be
I'm
searching in the
searching the
remains of
ogre.
the carts as well, like whatever, once the fires are down.
Searching for any notes, papers, messages, as well as coinage and gems.
Yeah, you overhear the fighter say, "At least we weren't obligated to make sure that anything here arrived at its destination, but these guards are going to pay for it wherever they're going." So we have 1, 2, 3 guards, 4 guards left. Yeah, and they are a disheveled mess. They had not expecting this at all, and you can tell their morale is definitely shaken. So they are not hardy adventurers at all. And they kind of cluster together. So you can get rid of the caravan now, and you guys can kind of put your party. They 4 guards. They're actually staying closer to the center of your group. Brieger and the fighter take up the rear. The ranger is in the front, and you guys can position yourselves wherever you're going to be. And you said party treasure?
I think because we can't split the silk up by cutting it, it'd be worth less money. So we have to get somewhere to sell this.
Yeah,
See what we can get and
it's a
split
bit
it.
charred. It's not. It's like it got a bit of smoke damage, but it's not. It's still sellable. So you have 1 tapestry out of all of that, and I mean it was a wagon full of silks. 1 tapestry survived in that mess. Now, as far as the other stuff, you guys managed to round up a total of 52 copper pieces amongst the orcs, the ogre, and the goblins, and a total of 10 silver. So they were not very wealthy at all. And the ogre is actually wearing a very crude gold ring. Now it's oversized for anybody to wear.
Or is it ogre size?
Yeah, ogre size. It is actually, it was too big for you even. So it would fit your
But he's
thumb,
got the brass knuckles, right?
but it'd be a loose fitting. Yeah, he has the brass knuckles, but they're huge. It's a
Oh,
little
even
bit
bigger.
big for your fist. You're only
It's
a
a
half
lovely
ogre.
brass bracelet.
Yeah, although you figure you might be able to use these knuckle dusters in a town with a smithy and maybe get them to cut some of the metal out and, bring it down a notch.
Is it a good quality thing, or does it just look like no?
No, the quality's questionable. It
I'll
does
get
look
a
like
chain and just run it through it.
yeah, it does look like it was drop
It's a
forged,
trophy.
but it's it's drop forged, but it's crudely drop forged. you can tell there's pits and all kinds of imperfections in it. But for an ogre, it was doing good.
Kai's just gonna kind of put her, I guess, like hand on some of the guards' shoulders, try to like,
Stabilize them.
well, more like just like morale boost them kind of thing.
Okay.
Because they're like they've had a rough day.
Okay. You know what? Roll. Well, your choice: medicine or persuasion.
Medicine.
Okay.
Some monk healy hands in this guys.
I can try and persuade him too.
So, and I'll get you to roll twice. I'll do it once for each group of 2.
Well, that's a
I can.
22 for one, and nat 1.
And that one for the other.
Yeah.
Okay, so the one group the 2 guys you've definitely improved their morale, and they're kind of picking themselves back up. You can tell they're worse for wear, but they're determined to get to Sember. They're just determined to get to the next town and check out of this business for good at this point. And the other 2 seem a little bit shaky, and they're looking nervously at their 2 guard friends, and they're not even sure they want to continue or go back. They're like, the road was clear back there. We made it 2.5 days, or we made it 2.5 weeks now, traveling without a single encounter. Let's just go back. So you can tell they're going to take.
You want to go back to place where they knew you left with Caravan so you can get in trouble? No, come with us. I'll keep you safe. I'm going to try and persuade him myself. 17 plus 6, 23.
Wow.
You do, you
Very
charming bugger,
convincing.
you. You know what? After about 10-15 minutes of trying to counsel these 2 guards out of their misery, they come around a bit and they seem uncertain, but they're willing to continue to go forward.
Don't worry. We try hard to keep you safe. Just don't run away like other one who got gutted. You chicken shit. That's what happens when you run away from fight.
The ranger she's like, guards. Guard what? And she walks off ahead. So she's starting 15 feet up ahead.
Ranger, question. You didn't notice this ambush either.
It's like, I didn't hear anything. It seems odd. They may have already been lurking and waiting and not moving. Normally my ears would have picked up, and she leans her hair aside, and normally my ears, and you notice she's got not quite elven, but half elven features now.
Yeah, ogres laying in wait for ambush seems like, and with all the 3 mixed races, seems like a specialized party.
My cousins are usually fucking retards. They're too stupid to think of ambush. I don't think these guys smart enough to do that.
Yeah, Brieger concurs. He's like, you know, that it's too much organization for this group. I mean, way too much organization. But we need to continue on December. We're only a day away, as long as we press on through the night.
Is there like mind control in Dungeons and Dragons?
Perhaps. Charm person.
Did we see, does that have an effect when someone's charmed, like their eyes glaze over or anything like that? No. So we wouldn't be able to tell if they're mind controlled.
Yeah, they don't do like the zombie stare or anything like that.
So just smart orcs.
Okay.
Any of the tapestries have any fabric left, even if it's not pretty or anything like that?
Well, there's lots of half-destroyed tapestries. I'd say you could probably gather up, maybe a good 4 pounds worth of excess silk that, when taken to a tailor, could be trimmed up into something half usable.
Anyone able to make things with hands?
Does anybody have any like sewing ability? Nothing like that? No?
Not that.
Dang it.
Yeah, everybody just shakes their head in unison.
I was hoping, shoot.
Need some new
Grand is, yeah, that too. Grand is going to actually look around for a couple of thin saplings and hack them down at the root, chop off the branches, and I'm going to try and make a travois, and then that way, if anyone does get injured, I can just kind of lug this thing behind me and drag it along, and that way we don't have to lose speed or any shit either.
Can you work on this while you're walking?
Oh yeah.
That's
I mean,
a good
if
thing,
if
Brieger
we're-
says, because we need to clear the out of here.
I mean, if someone carries the silk for now, Grand will use his battle axe like a whittle, and he'll cut
How
those things
heavy
down.
is that?
Just get one of the guards to hold it.
Yeah, you said 4 pounds. It's not much.
Oh.
So, and unfortunately, there is not a single horse left alive. You knew that there were two in the front that are no longer there, and the other horses have all fallen. So you guys are basically on foot from here on. Not that you weren't on foot before, but I mean, at least you had a caravan to take a break of.
Freshly killed horses.
Yep.
After a battle, do we need to eat or rest?
It's not
Yeah,
bad.
you have rations. You don't need to rely on horse meat per se, but you could carve a flank or two off.
It's delicacy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that could be for you.
I don't know.
Yeah, you gonna carve some horse?
I just think
It's already
if
cooked.
we're trying to save rations and after the battle you eat.
That's a smart decision for sure. Yeah, if you're
Absolutely.
gonna take now, do you have any
But
means of
what's his name?
Brigger?
Brigger's definitely saying we should move on really quickly.
Yep.
Yes, that's the balance to that.
Yeah.
Well, it won't take me long just to hack up an ugly piece of leg and
Okay.
just drag it over shoulder.
And then, slap it in some of the tapestry. It's not gonna stay good for long. He'll be able to eat it longer than you'll be able to eat it. But yeah, different stomachs. So you can temporarily store some meat. It'll count as up to 2 rations, I'll say. But it'll only last to the end of the day for you to eat. Him, he can get away with it tomorrow.
Kai's just gonna have like a little anime blue line under her eyes.
Yeah,
Just kinda
yeah. So you hack
avoid
off
this
a-
whole scenario.
you hack yourself off a haunch, a good half horse leg, and you're gonna hack some off as well.
Yeah, I think it's wise to take some.
I'll carry it for us all. Just take it in one, and Grog will just
That's
hack it up at the upper leg. And
big tomahawk steak you got going up.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Now I'm not gonna require it for you, but I will require you to just roll me a d20 for something.
Oh, it was.
Okay. Meat seems fine to you. Yeah. So you're pretty sure you got yourself a good meal for tonight's festivities. So yeah, you guys, it's still early morning. It's only about 10:30 in the morning, and you guys begin marching up the road. So a couple of hours pass uneventfully, and the overcast sky kind of clears up a bit. The sun comes out. It's noon. It's just past noon now, and things have brightened up. The spirits of the party are a little bit better. The guards are still kind of trudging along. They're tired. They've never seen battle like that in their lives, so they're still kind of running on shaky legs. The ranger is still up ahead, and she keeps signaling back to the fighter and the cleric in the front. It's looks like some kind of signal that they've agreed on between themselves. You can't make it out. Actually, no, you're not a ranger at all. You're an arcane trickster.
That's right, I thought you were true, but no, you're
Okay, another.
Mystic and
I'm gonna get perception rolls from all you guys.
I'm gonna not receive. Oh, wow! 17.
That's good.
Grog actually manages to see something.
Now to follow your nose.
What did you get?
15.
15.
Plus wisdom.
Yeah, I can guarantee you're not gonna spot anything with that either.
Yeah.
And you, right?
16.
Yeah, okay, so anybody who is 14 and over, you hear a little bit of rustling on the side of the road, just
Stop.
beyond the tree line.
Stop here for a second. Does anyone notice something up there?
Okay,
Kai's just gonna
I
like put
missed.
her hands on her.
everybody does stop when the ogre says stop.
I'm going to just use stealth and kind of go through the bush and see if I see anything.
Okay, I'm gonna get you to roll me another perception check.
Ugh.
What is it?
One.
Okay, you kind of lost where it was. You had an eye on it. The ranger is looking right at you. Can you point out the direction? And you do. You point it out. Let's see if she notices right where you're going. And she moves over to the side of the tree line,
Left.
knocks an arrow, and you see her lining up a shot at something. And she fires it in, and it goes stray of the mark. And you see something shuffle under, and you swear you caught a glint of metal, but you're not quite sure what it was. And it shuffles off into the bush. The ranger steps out to the road, and she says, "I think we're being followed." Anything?
That
Goblin
fucking
did.
goblin
Yeah.
that runs
Breaker's
away.
like, we need to march on. Just keep an eye on the side.
Princess Rush.
Okay, so you kind of pick up the pace best you can with the guards who are still kind of lacking, and they still try to stay in the middle.
I'm gonna try and instigate them to push forward. Through.
Intimidation?
Yeah, I'm good at that one too. What's these
Not
ones?
play.
Guys, come with me.
You got +6, right?
1.
You got a 1?
I got a 1.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they actually look a little scared right now.
I actually intimidated them instead of intimidating them to move forward.
Yeah, you intimidated them, and they are moving forward, but they're not going any faster. They're kind of now keeping an eye on you, not sure if they're going to get pummeled. And anybody else doing anything?
Is there any like kind of bush to kind of hide through or like move?
There's bush everywhere. It's like a 70s porn set.
Hell yeah. Kite's just gonna kind of try and stay a bit stealthier from this group, so not
Okay.
too far away, but like just moving.
Just moving off the path and kind of, are you moving in the tree line, kind of moving along? Okay, so you're gonna move a little bit slower,
Mhm.
but not too terribly slow that you can't keep up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Can I spur myself on to move faster in hopes that
Catch up.
no,
What's your
no,
movement? 30, right?
30 is my natural, but I mean, at like 9 feet tall, I should be able to get a good long stride and push hard.
Sure. The only thing is you won't be, you'll be more susceptible to surprise.
Yeah, I guess.
So you won't be paying as much attention, but you're keeping pace with a ranger, and the ranger doesn't seem too bothered by the fact that your big, semi-clumsy self is right beside her. She doesn't look like she's trying to maintain stealth or anything. She's like, you keep an eye up there. She's looking at you. You're what, 6 foot?
8
or
foot 6.
8'6", yeah. So yeah, she looks up at you and she says, "Let me know if your ogre eyes see anything." And you guys continue up the road.
Let me know if I see anything.
Yeah, so now you've come to a fork in the road. There's a crude wooden sign slammed right in the center. The road forks fairly straight this way and then takes a very noticeable a northern turn. And there's a sign planted that says Sember to the north and a sign pointing to Highwatch to the east.
How far is Highwatch?
Long ways. So in the grand scheme of things,
How much
this
bigger?
is
Just
the world as you know it. You were about here, just under the R in the continent of Aslantir.
So that's your destination.
So Highwatch is at the very coastern tip, or the very eastern tip, the coast over here, and you are about there. So you literally have about 2 to 3 weeks worth of solid travel to get to Highwatch, whereas Sember is about a day's ride.
Where was everyone? We were originally hoping to get to Highwatch.
Yeah, you knew that the merchants were going to stop in Sember to, gather their shit, get a rest, and then because it's a good spring point for a lot of travelers to make their way to Highwatch.
December's 1 day away. Do we push December, or do we ask the ranger to hunt, and do we push to Highwatch?
might be a good idea to get these guys to a safer area. So
Yeah, the guards seem eager to go north. They're like, you can just drop us off in Sember. We'll find a way back from there.
Well, you want me to pick you up?
No.
Or we can sell the tapestries there so we
Yeah,
don't have to
I
melt
guess
them
so.
long and stuff.
We might find something there too.
yeah, let's rest in December and then make for Highwatch when we're ready.
Kate, Brieger, and the fighter and the ranger all seem in agreement with that, and you guys strike off north. The path or the road continues about for probably a good 2.5 miles northeast. Fairly uneventful. Let me get some ambiance here. Good. Ambiance, good. I swear this thing just
Selectively chooses one to
selectively chooses one to play. I'm not sure why it just dies out like that. But yeah, I mean the volume's there. That's so weird. Anyhow, the birds are chirping. There is life in the forest, and you've got nothing but time on your side and a road ahead of you. Doing anything different?
Just
we're all
keeping
just
us
keeping
all
moving, right?
Okay, yeah, it's later afternoon now. Everybody's getting hungry. I'm going to get perception checks again from everybody, please. I'll roll them for Yeah, you hear the ranger actually from the top. She holds up a
17.
fist, and Brigger comes to a stop. The fighter comes to a stop, and the fighter turns and looks at all of you, and holds up a hand. What'd you get?
17.
17.
20.
You got 20. Okay, you hear that rustling off the side. You all do, but your eyes like zero right in on the spot on the left side of the road.
I'm gonna shoot you.
Okay, knock and launch. It's a bit of you know the area, but you don't have eyes on whatever it is. You just know the exact spot in the bushes.
12
Plus.
plus 6.
So 18.
Plus 6?
18.
Yeah, okay, that hits. Roll damage.
Oh,
Plus-
12.
You just hear a little and that's it. That's
We'll
all
see
you
where
hear.
it was and get my arrow.
Okay, you're marching off the side of the road into the shrubbery. The ranger looks like she's kind of casually going over to see what you're up to or what you did. And the brigger and the fighter are looking all around. They're like concerned about another ambush right now. You part the bushes and you see a goblin with a arrow pointing straight out of his.
Oh, you took the
strong.
strong.
Yeah, so I'll take my arrow out and drag the goblin out onto the road.
Okay,
Is
you
that
drag
the
the.
same one that we saw before? Or that,
You don't know.
okay.
Yeah, so you drag the goblin out on the road, and a dirty belt pouch falls off of his belt, and 3 copper pieces roll out onto the road.
Ding, ding, ding.
Nothing else in the belt pouch?
No, that thing is it's a manky mess. There is some things in it. It's got a mouse skull and a few scraps of string, just a couple of odd items, and what looks to be some crude bone dice. Very crude. Literally like had the numbers and symbols notched into them with a dagger. And they look like they're made out of a large creature's knuckles. Actually, like, why will you not just play the tabletop? Okay, we're actually we're gonna take like a quick 2-minute break, our last minute break. If you guys wanna like pee, feet up, coffee, tea up. Try and get this working.
Also, it'd be a good idea to pick up some skills that you want to be proficient in. So, wizard.
Who got the 20? That was that was Captain Emo, the monk. So
Kite.
whoever, I think it was Captain Emo.
No, Captain Emo said he was actually betting on you.
Oh, he was betting on
He
me.
was hedging his bet with
That's
you.
funny. So whoever voted on Kite, the monk, if that was you, you've won yourself some goodies.
Okay, so you can choose 2 out of this list. So,
They're candidates for magic.
stuff, yeah.
Sounds like something I would do.
So basically, each class, the skills they can be proficient in are like things that they would normally do. Like, so wizards work a lot with magic. That's why Arcana is one of the things. Usually, you have to study things or research things. So history, investigation, like that's where those things come from.
It's not perception.
No, investigation. So that's like using your intellect to think. Perception is you notice the thing, but intellect is saying like that's a coffee cup. A coffee cup is used to hold coffee. Perception be like you found the
Medicine can that be a self-healing power?
I think so, right? It's like using medicine or you're like stabilizing something.
Yeah, you can stabilize people, I think.
If you're studying dead bodies or something, you probably understand how medicine works. So.
Well, to a certain degree, you know how to patch things and put things together, but you just don't have a great bedside manner.
Perfect. So
You're not a doctor.
medicine would be. How many do I get of these?
So 2 you said? Yeah, you get 2 out of this list.
Okay.
You had Grand. Do your drafts had Grand. So is that Captain Mike? 20? Oh, should I pick the Oh, yeah. Anybody pick Kite?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Way to go, Monk.
So I picked 2 of those. Awesome.
Okay, so then you add your proficiency.
For anybody watching, you
Proficiency
can
bonus
change your
to
vote now if you want. You can change your vote right now on the next 20, the next crit. We'll give a few chances to win tonight, so
So it'll be +2
To both of those.
Yep, but then also add so each of these checks.
Comes up there as +2, so +2 with proficiency.
Yeah, so then you do +4 to any of those.
That's +4.
Yeah, so like each of those skills, you're gonna see it's got like a specific skill thing next to it. You'll add that modifier plus
the
your
proficiency.
for any ones you're not proficient in, you'll just add this modifier.
Okay.
It's like say,
You know, it's a play right over edges. So I'm going to show. Don't worry about leaving garbage around everything. I do a full tour de force on this place when we're done. So. Okay. So yes, that was my 2. I picked medicine and arcana.
nice. There's also things called personality and backgrounds.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm sure
I have to
Kelly
do
would be
some.
cool if you do some retconning maybe if
Yep.
you're figure out what kind of person your character is.
Yeah, for sure.
So this stuff is like the flavor stuff. Like,
Redcon. That's a term for me. What's that one?
so if you're just like picking stuff right now, but maybe like, hey, you look through some of the options later, say, hey, actually that makes more sense to what.
Retroactively trigger your character. Okay. But you don't have to do these either. These are guides. So if there's something outside of it you want to go with, just write her down. Let me know if it's not too, ridiculous.
We can even come up with your own. But ask your DM.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be like
So
when we came with it back.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. Take your time. We got 2 weeks before. Sure. We might as well establish that now too. Are you guys good? 2 weeks from now, Friday as well.
Should do your best. Still betting on me.
Do you guys still betting on Ron?
I mean, he's a big hulking guy. It's a good chance he's gonna get it.
Yeah, he's got a few bonuses, but it's got to be a nat 20. So anybody can win.
That's like
Sunlight.
yeah, it's a 6. Yeah, sure. All of a
Yeah, the
sudden.
birds all just turn off. No, we're okay. We're okay.
So yeah, so you can look through some of these things. These backgrounds will also give you 2 more skills.
No, some of them wouldn't care.
Yeah, so
Yeah, there's some handy stuff there for sure.
but what's more fun for this is you try to think of like why would your character have this background? So like what got your person into necromancy?
Just like you play with dead things growing up.
Yeah, like
It's like
Are
a
you-
serial killer.
were you an acolyte? Were you in the service of a temple? Or do you
The
have a
difference
criminal?
between a necromancer and a serial killer is intent.
And some of these can work better with some classes, but also
I like it.
whatever
See, now the
speaks
thing
to
is,
what you think your
An
character is up to.
invocationist can also raise a family.
Makes
It's
sense.
a really R-A-Z-E,
Yeah.
but
This is the fun
raise
part
a
of
family.
Yeah. Raise a whole damn family if they're powerful enough.
So, okay, well, who is your character? Like, why do they do the things they do? And then it's just some stuff that translates to the game.
I'm pretty sure necromancer, a former entertainer turned necromancer doesn't make the most sense. So yeah, you gotta find something that.
So you guys are
You
listening
never
to
know.
the wizard and
They
the
make
monk
sense.
have
That's
a
up to you.
long diatribe about the benefits of having a cool personality. So you're listening to them kind of, babble on about things that are beyond your comprehension at this point. And you see up ahead on the trail, there is a few figures approaching. You can't quite make them out, but the glint of the sun off of metal indicates that at least the first 2 people in the group approaching you are armored. So yeah, you can see the ranger holds up her fist. Everybody stops at the front, and Brigger and the fighter move up to be with the ranger and Grond. Doing anything at this point?
Hello.
Oh,
Kite's gonna be remaining hidden.
the ogre raises his hand and waves, and you see a hand raised in the distance. As they're getting close, they look humanoid. You can't quite make out the faces, but they look fairly human. They're human sized, and it looks to be 2 guards at the front, 2 guards at the back, a single caravan between them, and it's just 4 horses and a couple of people seated up in the caravan. They don't look like they're alarmed, but the 2 people in the front are holding halberds. They're they've got long weapons, and they're
halberds, armored.
and they just they're marching along. You can hear them now. The clank of the armor and clomp of the horses.
It's a fairly small, so I mean, if they haven't been ambushed, we've got some clear time ahead of us to not get ambushed. 'Cause, I mean, I would imagine that this group is extremely intense or intimidating in any way, shape, or form.
They're getting closer, and you can see that they mostly appear to be human. You're not sure about the two in the caravan. It looks like an old man and a younger man. Matter of fact, there doesn't appear to be one in the group at all.
I'm gonna just try and kind of charm them and chat with them a bit.
MVP in there, so
They don't look like they want to stop. The two guards at the front are definitely looking at you like
Can I give you some advice? And I'm just trying to be friendly.
they're just like they're standing office and they're continuing past you.
14 is all I rolled.
14.
There is ambush ahead. Small little
As soon as you say ambush,
goblins.
they come to a halt.
Goblins and ogre and orcs tried to kill us.
An ogre telling them, or half ogre telling them to be wary of ogres.
Yeah, the guy on the caravan, the older guy, leans in and he's like, ogres, you say?
Yes, the fucking filthy, shitty ones.
He's
Not like
just
me.
go pirate. He's like, oh, awful language. And
Meh.
and he's
Never have I.
and he's like, and you slaughtered the scum then?
Well, yes, but we don't know if there's more because the fucking chicken shits run away when we start killing them.
Wait, they ran away. They could be up on the road. Starts a bit of a debate between the guards on the thing.
Our 3 caravans were burned. We've got this. Would you like to buy this tapestry?
Yeah, the guy in the caravan, he's like, we're not transporting tapestries, we're transporting kegs of ale to Al Shanir. We don't want any trouble.
Oh no.
They
don't.
still look a little nervous about you guys, but then they see the guards with the Al Shanir shields, the Al Shanir guard shields, and they say, oh, you've got guardsmen from Al Shanir here. And they seem to just ignore you all of a sudden, and they push past to try and talk to those guards. And they're talking to the guards. Anybody listening to what they're saying to the guards or anything?
I'm by the conversation, I think.
Yeah, actually, you would be. Yeah, and they.
Is Kite within earshot?
Yeah.
She's still trying to remain out of sight.
So the guards at this point, they don't look fearful like they did, hours previous. They look like they've just kind of resigned themselves to the fact that they're on this journey. And they say, they're talking amongst themselves. They're recanting the situation that just happened. And the guards are looking kind of at you guys and looking at them. We'd like to go with them. They're headed back, and we know the way's clear.
But do you want to go back to a place where they know you left us?
Go on then, cowards, the fighter says.
Okay.
Really, I don't care, whatever, do what you want to do.
One guard kind of looks hesitant. He's not sure whether he wants to go. He's not going. He's actually, I'm sticking with these guys. You saw what they did to the ogre. And then a bit more conversation between some of the other guys. This caravan starts out, yeah, tell us about the fight of the ogre. And the old man says, we have to press on. The road won't be clear for long, especially if there's hazards ahead. And he kind of snaps the reins on the horses, and the guards begin marching and forming up with the other 3 guards falling in suit. So you have 1 guard with you that's stuck with you guys, and the rest all depart. Yeah, so Brieger, the fighter, and the ranger are all sticking with you guys.
If she's cool enough, she might even earn a name.
The ranger actually introduces herself to Grant as Erin, E-R-Y-Y-N. That's all she says. She just introduces herself, nods, smiles, and then continues on up the road.
What's the fighter's name?
Hasn't given him. Outright ask him?
Yes,
Now
fighter.
that he's continuing, or she's continuing with us.
The ranger is. Yeah, everybody
Fighter,
else
man.
is.
What is your name? I think we should know each other's names if we're going to travel and trust each other.
Devon. The fighter's name is Devon.
Thank you, Devlin. My
Yeah, he
name's
nods.
Ron.
He nods. He shakes your hand. The big old hearty. He tries to give you the whole, hearty, but your arm is just huge. That's quite a grip. You almost like cut off his circulation, gripping his arm and shaking it.
What? I don't have that much strength. It's like, I mean, it's good, but it's not.
Size-wise,
Yeah,
you've got a
size-wise, yeah.
palm on. You can literally palm his face, and
16's a pretty decent.
Yeah, you're an intimidating dude, regardless.
For level 1, like it's really good.
Yeah, and you guys kind of pack up. You can tip that tree back up. The forest stays thick on the side of the road, and then it suddenly opens up, and there's a huge plain off to the left, and you see the mountains rise up to the northeast, to the northwest, and the plains continue on through a bit of a valley, and there's a bit of a mountain. It's not really a mountain as much as just a huge rock jutting out of the ground. It could be considered a mountain, but it's definitely about 200 or 300 feet high if you're going to get closer to it. These are miles off. And then it opens up to a bit of plain, and then it starts to get swampy off to the right. And you see up ahead, it starts to get back in the forest. You guys going to continue on the road? Yeah, well, it's getting on towards evening now.
Would this be a good time for the ranger to maybe try a bit of hunting? Try and get some good food?
How far are we?
She doesn't want to stop. And Brigger doesn't seem to want to stop either.
How close are we to the town?
They said if we went
Half a day.
right?
Yeah, you figure you're about 6 to 7 hours, right? Yeah, but that would be ride. You guys are
Ride.
on foot. Yeah, so you're probably going to have to camp. at
Don't
some-
stop to eat with now that food is unedible for me, probably a bit edible for you.
If we
Plus,
stop
we had
here
a-
in an open plain, though, at least we have view. We
Yeah,
have range of vision, which will help us to see if we're getting ambushed, and it will give us clear view. So as much as I like the forest for potential coverage, the open plain will be safe for us to watch for things to come.
the ogre's right, fighter. Blurts out. It's like, the ogre's right. We've got clear view here. I say we stay on the road, just move slightly off, and just stick here where we're clearly visible and have a good eye shot in all directions. Brieger wants to continue moving on, and Ranger she doesn't care. She's going to go with whatever decision the party makes.
Yeah, I'll set up
Is that okay? Okay, you find a small clearing just off the road. There's no trees again, it's just like, it's fairly grassy. You're looking at that now. So you have a bit of a clearing to work with, lots of good visibility in all directions, and there doesn't seem to be any life on that horizon. There's a low mist gathered around the mountains in the distance. And it's overcast over the mountains, but you've still got clear skies and sunshine over top of it. Sunshine's definitely going down. We're about 4 in the afternoon, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock rolls around. You guys going to cook some dinner, eat. So far uneventful. Okay, now perception check from anybody who's been paying attention.
15.
20.
Jeez.
Very perceptive.
19.
19? And you got what?
20.
A 20?
Again.
Okay, yeah, you hear, I'm not sure if it's just the wind picking up, but you definitely notice off in the distance, and it's so small, it looks to be something large and flappy. You're not quite sure what it is, but it's up in the air,
I mean,
and
flappy.
it's dark. It's got
Like something flying?
something flying.
on the wing.
I'll point it out to everyone. Like, we might want to hurry up and get moving.
You see it when she points it out. What did you roll?
8 plus it's intelligence?
Wisdom? Yeah.
So +2, so 12.
And 15. Okay, so it takes you a little bit longer, but eventually, Calendra, was it Calendra? Managed to get everybody's gaze on the same thing. It's off in the horizon. It is getting a little bit closer, actually.
How big is it?
Well, you've heard tales of dragons, and to you, this is like making you nervous. You're not quite sure what to compare it to because you have no real world experience to compare it to. But from what you've heard, your mind goes to dragons.
Is there that kind of like little dike clearing thing where
There
like,
is.
all right, Kite's just gonna go take a stealth mode to try and hide that thing.
Try and iron that thing?
So I actually.
Okay, well, yeah, it's a dry creek bed. Dry creek bed. So you managed to duck down behind that berm there. Yep. And I want to see. Okay, it actually hasn't gotten any closer since the last time. It got a bit closer. It's still, I'm gonna say, it's got to be at least a mile away from you guys. And it's up in the
one
air.
spot flat.
Yeah, it looks like it's circling them.
Oh, circling.
Yeah.
So it has to have the
So it's
forward
circling
movement.
something else.
Yeah, and you
when it's-
you still can't make out enough detail on this object, but you can see it's got a bit of a tail and wings, but you can't tell detail. You can't even tell what type of tail. It's a little bit long, but you're having trouble making details.
18 for stealth. Grond is trying to hide.
Creep.
Yeah.
Stay away from me.
They're hiding.
Yeah,
They're hiding. I'm big
It's like-
stone and creek bed.
Never see it.
that is hilarious. Okay, you roll stealth.
Yeah, just a basic dex. Natural
No,
15
roll me
plus
stealth.
3. Natural 15 plus 3.
Natural 15, okay. So you do hide in the creek bed, and for whatever reason, even to the rest of the players, you do look like a big lump of rock in the middle of this creek bed. You're hunched over like this, trying to be inconspicuous.
I am rock.
Yeah.
Everybody must get stoned.
The only people who haven't moved are Brieger, the ranger, and the fighter. We're all still sitting around the fire. You guys are gathered at the creek bed.
Do they seem concerned at all?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, they haven't moved. And Brieger is chuckling over the fact that you guys are hunched over in a creek bed.
I haven't moved either.
Yeah, he's like that. He's like that wouldn't be of any concern to us. Look how far it is away. You know, he doesn't seem concerned right now. It doesn't mean it's not.
Circling the town, that seems like. Dragons in town.
It actually seems to be circling further away from you guys.
It's not circling near our destination. It's circling.
Grond has no idea. He
See
thinks
the
it's circling
space
closer.
between that valley right there?
Yeah.
You see the cloud that's directly up in the center? That's where you see it. Kind of circling around there like it's looking for something on the ground.
Grond is in disbelief.
But I mean, like,
He
is
thinks this
that
thing's coming
the
closer.
area?
He's standing there.
No, the road is this way.
It's so
And
far
that
away.
way.
Yeah.
So that's off to the
He's
off to
playing
the
up the street,
beach,
right?
wait, I don't know if I can get that. Yeah, it's off to the west.
It's off to the side.
And it comes closer. So it appears to be bouncing in between that distance there. Doing anything? Everybody's still just eating dinner around that fire. They're actually starting to pack up some of their dinner. Brigger kind of walks over by the creek bed and notices that there's no water in it anymore, so he just stuffs his dishes into a large sack and they start packing up and rolling out their bedrolls and stuff like that. So it looks like they're getting ready to sleep.
Oh, we're sleeping.
It looks like they're making camp.
Creek bed is dry, right?
Missed the last one.
And looking, you guys don't see that thing anymore. Tiny dot disappears as you're.
So moving away.
Ooh,
I
that
guess-
was close.
Here's like,
Loose definition of close.
yeah. So yeah, and I mean, darkness is starting to settle in now. It's like dusk, very low light.
Yeah, I guess Kite's gonna. Well, yeah, she'll get ready for bed too. Let's take the first watch.
Great question. Brigger agrees to stay up for the first watch.
I'll stay with Brieger.
Kite's gonna sleep first.
Okay.
I'll sleep and then I'll take.
I would sleep. I missed the last rest.
Yeah.
So sleep is a must.
For sure, and you're gonna eat. You're gonna cook some meat.
Oh, I thought we already did that.
Well, before that showed up, you were about to.
Okay.
There's
So,
a nice fire going.
From the last engagement with the horses, how long has it been?
Well, hours. 7 hours.
With unsalted meat, chances are that leg is gone eerie.
It doesn't smell too bad. Yeah, it doesn't smell too bad to you.
Grond roasted over the fire.
You're
Hot
constantly
dog on a
hand
stick.
holding his leg of horse over the thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna cook it well done.
Okay.
We're not eating this one rare.
Okay, if you had
I'm not a savage.
if
I
you
eat
had
it
not
rare.
have said that,
Blue steak.
that one might have said something different. You find the food relatively unpalatable. You've really overcooked the hell out of this thing, but you do not get sick.
That's okay.
You know, your tummy's a little grumbly, but it's happy to have some food in it, some sustenance in it. The rest of you guys eating. Some of you are sleeping. The first watch goes through without a hitch. Everything stays quiet. You guys trading off watches at this point. We're middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning. Ron's going to sleep.
I will take a watch.
I'll watch.
The guard that is with you guys, the one Alshmir watch guard, he is not able to sleep, and he's just like petrified of the night.
I'm gonna try and inspire him. He should get some sleep because if he's not, then he's gonna slow us down. So I'm gonna try and persuade him to go to sleep.
What'd you get?
8. 2 plus 6.
Yeah, he's very just intimidated by you and everything else in general. He's shit his britches on more than one occasion in this thing.
Kyle just like kind of put that whole calming hand on it, like, hey, don't worry about it, it's okay.
Okay, yeah, you can roll persuasion as well.
Don't worry, we've got the ogre. Oh, just wait. Yeah, we've got the ogre. Oh, that seems gross.
That's no problem.
Yeah, that's the problem.
18.
18 is good, yeah. You managed to put some calm into the guy. And he doesn't have a bedroll or anything, but he leans up against a rock and just kind of pulls his cloak over him, and he manages to nod off and get some sleep. Hey, it's almost 4 in the morning, and you hear.
Guys, there's some.
Yeah, it sounds like a few horses, and it's coming from the northeast.
Do I see them?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, I'll watch them.
Yeah, it feels fairly distant. Who all's up right now?
I took
Guys
first.
gonna be doing some early morning training.
Yeah, Ranger's up as well with the fighter, and she like looks around, and a few of you hear this. And after about 5 minutes, you still see nothing. And about 10 minutes later, now you see them come into view, and it's two. You thought it was more, but it appears to be 2 riders on horseback. 2 different individuals. You can't really make out details doing anything. They're still about 500 yards in the darkness up ahead. You're just able to make out the silhouettes and the super low light. There's moonlight, but there's a bit of cloud cover, so
No one's by
not yet. And the fire is like really low right now. It's very clear, open plain, lots of starlight despite the clouds and stuff. So you are able to see that there are 2
and they're
individuals.
approaching us, and we're not on a path anymore.
Well, you're on the road, and they are taking the road.
Let's keep an eye on them.
Okay, they get closer, and it appears to be 2 travelers. One appears to be elven, quiver, bow, cloak. Cloak is green. They're both armored. One's wearing splint mail, the other one's wearing chainmail. The other one appears to be a human male, bearded, gruff, and they're both just traveling. They see the low light from your fire, and they don't appear too concerned, but cautiously, they're just, just easing by, keeping an eye on you. Anybody doing anything?
That guy's just doing her like morning training, just doing some
Yoga
flips.
routines. Yeah. Yoga. Yeah. Okay, they give you a pass. They don't seem to bother you. They don't stop to talk, and they don't see anything as they pass. Okay. They do raise an eyebrow at the half ogre that's there. Yeah.
Half ogre doesn't notice he's busy sleeping.
Yeah, the rest of the morning continues on uneventfully. So everybody gets sleep and manages to get themselves a good rest. So anything that would be considered a long rest, you guys can recover as long as they're so don't worry, and your wounds too, as long as they're nobody has any severe wounds at this point, right?
And -1 hit point.
Yeah, so you guys can put yourselves back up. We'll say that the wounds have begun to knit now, and you're starting to heal a bit up.
And there was much rejoicing.
Did we eat Robin's minstrels?
Yeah. Brave, brave,
What's
brave,
the
brave.
horse's name?
that was Robin's minstrels.
The brigger and the fighter and the guard, the ranger, they're all rolling up their bedrolls and they're breaking camp. The guard is like trying to make himself busy and useful. He's like putting out the fire and burying dirt, and you can tell he's trying to be a little bit more active and involved now.
Good job. I'm trying to encourage him, not like bardic encouragement or whatever, but good job. Thank you for helping.
As you know, from the ground.
10?
Just a 10.
Okay, the guy's still, he's like, you make me nervous. He's like, you seem like a nice guy, but if you could just leave me be, that would be great. And everybody breaks camp. You guys kind of get back on the road and you head north.
So nice, but so off-putting.
So you guys are heading north, and you're starting to come up to the tree line now, where the woods is starting to encroach on the road, and things are getting a bit more dense, leaving the plains and the swamp and the mountain view behind you. You head into the thick cover of the trees, and you hear. It sounds like probably 4 or 5 horses at least, coming from up ahead, just around the bend.
Those first 2 were scouts.
Just
Yeah, it's been about 4 hours since.
Oh, okay. That's it.
Yeah.
That's much nice.
Yeah, and everything's up, and actually you get rid of the audio for that. You guys don't have horses. But you hear this. Yeah, you hear this as they get closer, and you see that there's another caravan. It appears to be 2 covered wagons, team of 4 horses on each, and a fairly large contingent of guards. Doesn't seem to be any of the adventurer type, and there's just a guy in each of the covered wagons that's manning the horses. These guards bear an entirely different symbol that you are unfamiliar with. It's a snake with 3 arrows on the shield.
Snake.
That doesn't look like. Do we know what Sember's
No,
colors
you've
are?
never been to Semper.
Oh, then,
Yeah, as a matter of fact, nobody here has been to Semper.
yeah.
They give you a nod as they approach. Nobody looks hostile. Yeah, until they see the ogre wave. And the half ogre, they kind of, a few of them just kind of, a little bit. I mean, you're a big, intimidating dude, so they're grinning awkwardly as they pass you.
Nobody draws weapons or anything.
Yeah. Any word from up the road? The
We
first
got
one.
ambushed our caravan
Ambushed how? Why what?
by goblins, orcs, and greasy, slimy, evil fucking ogres.
So they were like, oh, goblins, orcs, a little bit concerned. And then when you mention the ogre, you get mixed reactions, given the fact that you're narrating this story. You get mixed reactions from the ogre. Like, you? Yeah, never mind.
I'm not ogre, I'm half ogre. Those fucking things are shitty big.
So a
They
couple of
can
the guards,
fuck off.
they're looking you up and seeing the condition that you're in. They're like, you seem to have fared well despite the ambush.
Well, I made sure I got the ogre, otherwise these would be dead. I had to fucking kill him.
Rigger chuckles. Oh, come on, now let's not get carried away.
You almost got killed by goblin.
The ranger speaks up. She's like, it's and you, any tales from up the road? And he's like, not this close to Sember. He's like, they wouldn't dare. And they're pushing past you. I mean, they're continuing on. They're not really stopping to talk as much as engaging in idle
Did you
banter.
notice
Hallway,
anything
water
in the clear
clear
tanks of importance?
The wagons are covered, and the back of them have flaps that are tied closed, so you can't actually see what's in the covered wagon.
Have safe journey. We have a tapestry for sale if you want it.
We're not merchants.
Oh,
And they continue to
Not
march.
merchants, but carrying closed caravans.
Yeah, you couldn't see if there was anybody in
how many
there.
guards?
Approximately 12. Yeah, and they're all wearing leather armor. They're not heavily armored, but they're all wearing leather armor, carrying swords.
Where's your coat of arms from?
It's like, you don't recognize it? It's like, surely you must know.
No.
You're headed
Just
to-
wait. I have history.
I was gonna
Would history get
Yeah, roll this.
20.
20. Holy
Who
crap!
had the next crit for Grunt?
Yeah.
Wait,
Recalling in your memory, you're like,
It's a
ah,
crit on.
I've
any
heard
roll?
this is the. I have heard
She's
that
20
this is-
perception twice.
Yeah.
You just rolled 20 as well.
No, it's
Oh, before.
nat 20. Is it
Oh no,
that?
she had a nat.
Yeah, she had
Oh, you did.
2 nat 20s.
So it's for
Who had nat 20? For,
No, no.
Oh,
They just came from Sember.
Okay.
So
Is
it's
that
any,
what the
any
symbol
nat
is from?
20 is a
No,
critical
No, it's
roll.
not. It's for something else.
Unless
so-
you're really bad with negative mind. Is that such a thing? Negative modifiers?
So
Yeah.
it is
I
actually.
have a negative on my actors.
Oh, Nurmir.
What's that?
So,
Nurmir. Nurmir.
One
City of
means
Nurmir.
like.
Was that
we're
in a
gonna,
place where I
awesome
could, like,
thing,
my
we're
military
gonna awesome
training?
modifier, sure. No, one
No,
is just
oh, no.
like,
It's north up past the
maybe
plains of
awesome
Nurmir,
result
where you
time,
knew
but
that,
this
like,
time you
from your
just
history,
mess
you're
around with it.
somewhat familiar with Nurmir from
20 is
tales
like-
you've read.
that's
There was
awesome.
a huge battle
Might
on
not
these
even be
massive
very good
plains
at
of
this
Nurmir
thing,
between
just
two
like
massive
that.
armies, and north of that is the city of Nurmir, beyond a glacier through the mountain pass.
Then
You gather a bit of
all
these
that
details, but
is,
you're trying to recall it, and that's why
you
you
don't
remember.
swing, you hit a guy.
They're like, yeah,
you
we've
swing,
traveled quite a ways, and
nat
we're on our
20,
way to Alshire.
crit. Then you do like a crit.
All the
check.
best to the
So,
army,
yeah,
to the warriors of Nurmir.
So
They
the
wouldn't
old
have
versions
any.
of stuff for this one,
negative
it's you
rate,
just
what do you
roll
call
the dice twice.
Okay.
So like my sword thing's a d6.
Yeah.
So roll 2d6.
There's
We
no
still
bad
get
blood between Sember and
two
Nurmir or
points.
anything. Okay, perfect.
And they'd be like, hey, I did a crit.
No.
I did 2 damage.
Yeah, so that's. And you
But,
guys actually
You
find
had your
when they pass
attack
that
modifier.
up ahead. Actually, I'm just going to get another perception check from everybody, except these two. You guys don't need to roll it. You're talking.
19.
Yeah. So you guys are both playing about 19,
16.
16. Okay, you both notice up ahead there seems to be a little glow,
Depends on what
some
weapon it is.
light, maybe a settlement or something up ahead.
You're a
And you realize that you're actually closer to Sember than you thought. So you can tell that it must be a fairly sizable,
Is it still kind of dark out?
well, I mean, it's getting dark though. Light's starting to fail.
Oh, again, okay.
Yeah. So, but you can see up ahead that there appears to be the road is getting definitely more well trodden here, and there seems to be a dull glow from like lots of fires or something like that up ahead. You guys gonna continue?
Push on.
Okay.
For that place.
2 hours pass, and you can definitely now see in the distance that there appears to be a great parting of the trees across like where the road is. So the road comes up, and then there's the trees begin to thin out, and then there's a fairly large clearing area, and the road travels straight up north for about 500 yards, and then it hits a set of watchtowers, and beyond that you can see there's a walled city. Looks more like a fort. It's not like huge brick walls and stuff like that, more wooden walls, reinforced. But past these gate towers, you can tell that there's a city further up north. So you're about 10 minutes ride from those first set of towers. You keep on?
I'd say we keep on.
Right, did we pick up horses? No.
No, we were walking.
Oh,
No.
okay.
A bunch of dead horses.
Yeah.
We picked up some horse meat,
Oh,
which is
God,
done
yeah.
for you. Yeah, that horse meat is gone for you. You ate yours last night as well?
Yeah.
Okay, and those are gone. And as you approach the tower, these two watchtowers, they've got openings on either side of them, and as soon as you approach, 2 guards stand out, and a huge slab of timber drops across the front between these 2 gates. It's huge. It's like reinforced, 4 huge heavy timbers with iron bindings, and it literally gets dropped across into, how they close gates in a castle? It gets dropped into 2 of those mounted on the side of these watchtowers.
So the door gets barred fully.
The whole road gets barred. So they basically stop you. And you can see now on the side there's some guys working some cranks and stuff to make these 2 huge timbers drop together in the center of the road. So it's kind of like that. It's got a big gate. And they stop and they say, your business? What business have you in Sember?
Selling tapestry.
1 tapestry between everybody. Contingent of like 8 people moving in.
To supply and continue moving on to highwatch.
Yeah, the guard speaks up. The little guard that never a word before suddenly speaks up. He's like, "Please let us into Sember. It's been dangerous out here." And the guards don't look too concerned. We don't just let anybody through these gates. State your business.
I'm gonna bribe them.
Brigger actually approaches the guards, and he's having a word with one of the guards at the front, and he just explains that they were on they were traveling with a caravan. They were ambushed on the road, and the guard looks iffy as if he's having trouble believing him. The ranger has a word with him as well, and now he seems a little bit more convinced, and he asks to raise the gate. They don't bar everybody, so they raise the gates and they let you guys through. There's no toll or anything either, so they just wave you guys through. Continue through the gates.
With all kindness, thank you, gentlemen, for being wise and gracious.
Just keep your noses clean in December. We don't want any trouble.
Gron will pull out a rag. And,
Yeah.
is that good enough?
He raises an eyebrow.
Just
Chuckles
my
to
eyes and
himself.
smoke, dude.
Yeah, you hear them mumbling something about not the brightest bulb in the batch, so to speak, but yeah. So you guys,
Knows it, match.
yeah. So you guys continue on for about 15 minutes. You're walking up the road, and now you're coming up on the main gates of Sember. So there's reinforced wood walls, and there's towers stationed, in between these walls, and there's a big, huge wooden gate that's actually open at the front. And you can see other people in caravans are kind of lined up, and the guards are waving people through one by one. And just behind another caravan, the guards stop you, and they kind of look you over, and then they wave you through. And you guys have arrived at Sember. Yay! You survived. So Sember is a small town set in the low hills, about a 30-minute ride north of the Highland Road. That's where you guys just kind of came off of. It is a primary western trade route between Highwatch and Alshanir, and a variety of commercial and exotic goods actually make their way through this area. So it's a population of about 1,400 in the winter, up to 2,400 in the summer. So you guys are at the beginning of spring, the population is slowly beginning to pick up with caravans moving back and forth. Once you get in, it's basically a sprawling little town. It's not even a town, sprawling little city, big town that lies in front of you. You're not familiar with the area at all. There's people moving everywhere. There's literally easy 100 people within eyesight of you right now. Buildings of all sorts. You catch, a smithy on the left. Up ahead, you see what looks to be a gold goblet painted in, and you can see the gilded goblet. There's in a tavern along the main road. 180.
Heights never seen the city as big before, so she's kind of just taking the sights in.
Okay. Little bewildered.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you guys can go anywhere and do anything. It's a bustling little metropolis happening here.
Let's see if we can go to a trade district. Does anyone have appraisal or?
Trade district might not be necessary. As you move even a little bit further in, the front end of the city, just beyond the gates, is actually a fairly wide open marketplace. The buildings start about 400 yards in, and then it's pretty much a wall of buildings with a road right up through the center, a road up to the northeast, and a road up to the northwest. Northeast and northwest. I gotta keep doing that. Directions.
I'd say we try and sell this. I can at least try and persuade pretty well. Anyone else got persuasion?
Does anybody have appraisal?
I don't know if that's a thing.
Well, there isn't a persuasion.
No, I think it just.
Or not persuasion. I mean
Appraisal.
appraisal.
I don't think that's a thing in this version. I think it'd just be like an in check that you know this is worth this much, or you remember that it's worth this much.
Well, they do have appraisal, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have appraisal. I think my character had it. Rand Buckley, actually, my thief, has it.
I wonder if that's maybe an insight, which would be a wisdom or
Well,
perception.
I'll certainly allow an insight check during your haggling with whoever you approach to determine whether or not they're bullshitting you.
So
that I would do.
wise with me.
Yeah. So you do spot a couple of vendors, one of whom has several rolled tapestries up, and he's hanging the silks. He's got his cart parked off to the side. It's like those vans with park at Kmart or whatever with all the towels or big blankets that they have with the printouts of the eagle. He's got that. So lots of fancy tapestries depicting all sorts of battles and intricate little patterns and stuff like that. He sees you approaching with the tapestry. He's like, take that off your hands? Offer you a fine price for it?
Absolutely. I'm gonna try and say leave as much as possible.
Yes, that's what they all say. I think it's your
Like
roll
charisma.
persuasion.
Persuade.
Yeah, actually roll a charisma check.
Yeah. Just a straight up charisma.
Straight up
no
charisma
persuasion.
check. Yeah.
Okay. 10.
10? Okay. So he offers you 30 gold.
Ooh, 30 gold. Is that really good price, guys?
Can I take an intelligence test to know if that's a good price?
Yeah, you're with him?
Aren't we together?
I thought we were all together.
Yeah, well, Brieger and
The
the
only one
Ranger.
Was
She's just-
bewildered by
she's-
the city.
She's like taking in the sights, but she's still a degree.
So Brieger and the Ranger and the Fighter, actually, when you guys start heading towards the tapestries, they're like, perhaps we'll take our leave and maybe we'll see you again. We're headed to the Gilded Goblet. You'll find us there. Yeah, the Gilded Goblet.
Sounds like a good bar.
Yeah, and actually, let's. Who's got history? Who wants to roll me
I
history?
do. Oh,
Shoot, I should.
Okay. What'd you roll?
21.
21. Wow. The
19.
ogre has got it going on. So
19 plus 4, 23. Sorry.
So you remember something about the guards saying that the Gilded Goblet was actually quite famous for its delicious food and its comfy beds, but you didn't really give it too much thought until just now when they mentioned the Gilded Goblet. And they shake your hands and they thank you for your assistance on the road. It's been a good adventure, and perhaps we'll see each other again. And they head towards
We don't have to share 52 copper pieces. And
They don't
stuff.
care.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't care at all about it. And they head up towards that with the guard in tow. So you guys are now on your own. You're at that tapestry. So are you going to take 30 gold? Unless somebody else wants
Unless
to.
someone else-
I was gonna say intelligence check to make sure that was a good deal.
Okay, you can roll intelligence check, sure.
Alright, let's hope it's a good roll. Oh!
19 plus 4 plus
You
perception
think-
is 25.
You could probably get a better deal.
So, persuasion, I don't have persuasion.
You can tell me.
You can still go up and haggle.
Yeah, so I let you know, hey, I've heard this is actually worth it. Pretty much close to double.
And now I'm gonna crit fail this. And we're gonna take 30 because
The merchant looks a little nervous now that somebody's kind of called him.
so 15 for
15,
persuasion.
15 is good. He says, well, fair price, my friend.
Bit of haggling.
Look, 40 gold is all that I can offer him.
How much sweat is coming off this guy?
Yeah, 40 gold, that is a very fair price for this tapestry. And he starts looking at it a bit closer, as if to
I
try and
think
find
that's a
flaw
good
with it.
deal. That's a good deal. We'll take 40 gold.
Okay, and you're not really giving him a chance to eye the.
Don't let him
He's
look
trying
at
to
it.
inspect it.
No.
Yeah, and he's like,
This
smells
turns
like
out-
smoke.
I think it was treated with special smoke scented incense.
Well, it
to-
doesn't look like he wants to argue with the half-ogre. As you lean over him, he's like, "Oh, perhaps it's just your breath, good man. It smells like horse."
I'm sorry for my throat. It's a little hoarse right
You
now.
guys get a 40 gold for that tapestry.
We'll split that. So we'll each take 10 gold.
Oh, we split that now?
Yeah, you guys can split it amongst yourselves. You're probably best to split this treasure because it's not a huge amount, and you'll all need some money anyway.
Do we split what we found off the bodies?
You can now. We're actually going to. So we'll call this session here. You guys are in December, and you can go wherever the heck you want. So we're going to leave the camera running for a while we figure out some last minute things. But I just want to say thanks to Do Your Drafts, Captain Mike, Captain Emo, J-Man Weird for coming in and hanging out with us. Yeah, Jay. Yeah, thanks for coming in and hanging out with us tonight for Chronicles of Chryalis. We'll be back on this campaign in 2 weeks' time with the same cast of characters.
I'll do my homework.
Yeah, so we'll hope to see you there. We're going to tally up some experience and do what we got to do. We'll look forward to seeing you guys next time. Tomorrow night, Camarina Adventures. We'll be over at Ty and Lynette's house playing some Camarina Adventures, some 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons. So tune in for that tomorrow night, 7 to 11 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And tomorrow morning on the Take20 D&D morning show, we'll be, are you guys making that to that show as well? Maybe?
Oh, we gotta clean up the house. I gotta get the groceries. We are
Maybe.
gonna do our best.
Might have some guest spot, but either way, myself and J-Man Word will be playing a video game and mumbling our way through a conversation about life this week. So tune in for that tomorrow at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And we will see everybody next time. Goodbye for now.
Data. So we've each got 13 copper and 2 silver, and then we've got 2 silver and 3 copper as just a